There we go. We're live. How's everybody doing? Everybody that was waiting patiently for us to start, thank you, by the way, for being here from the very beginning. We appreciate all of you. We've got kind of an increasingly larger and larger pre-show audience every single week, so we love to see that. Welcome, welcome, welcome. We have a fascinating Thursday night matchup tonight between the Packers and the Titans. Titans getting a little bit healthier-ish this week. Jeffrey Simmons is back. Ben Jones is out with a concussion, so still a net even there in terms of personnel being in, being out. But Jeffrey Simmons is absolutely an impact player, so curious to see how effective he is with that ankle and how many snaps he plays, even though the loss of Ben Jones is obviously a big one for them. On the Packers side, they are as banged up as I have ever seen that franchise, to be quite honest. Every single week, a new guy's going down. I don't even know how they have people left to play at this point, but as long as you got Rodgers and as long as you got Lazard and apparently the emergence of Christian Watson, you got Aaron Jones, they still got a shot offensively here because I don't know. Aaron Rodgers still scares the shit out of me, regardless of the defense I was in. So, yeah, very fascinating matchup. Schematically, obviously, we'll get into some stuff pretty quick here. But before we do that, EJ, how you doing? How you feeling? What are you drinking?
I'm good. I'm ready. This is I think, a more interesting matchup than it would have been, even 2 weeks ago.
Mm-hmm.
If we didn't get Christian Watson breaking out and the Packers sort of finding their stride offensively, I think the Titans win this one on a walk, no matter where it is, Lambeau or otherwise, because of the breakout the Packers had against Dallas and because of the element that we talked about on the podcast this week with Christian Watson giving them what they'd been missing. This becomes at best a toss-up. Like, it is a really cool clash of styles. Can't wait. Like, that's the old, Jets meme, can't wait. Speaking of can't wait, I was at the store yesterday, and it is the season Ninkasi Slayer, one of my all-time favorite Christmas winter ales, roasted toffee malty 7.2 by volume, made by Ninkasi Brewing right down in Eugene by the Ducks. And it's not made by the Ducks, but Ninkasi is by University of Oregon. So I'm going to crack open my first Slayer of the season, which is very celebratory, and I can't think of a better way to do it than with you and all my other Thursday night friends, of which there are, a couple hundred already. So let's go.
I also have a very special bottle tonight. This is an 18-year-old Calvados that I've been waiting to crack open, either on a pod or on a stream. I have never had a Calvados this old, so I'm curious. I mean, it's probably going to be really fucking good. I've had the 3-year. I've had the 3-year for Roger Grolt, and it's phenomenal. So I'm assuming the 18, especially for how much I paid for it, probably pretty fucking good too. So I'm going to be getting blitzed on that tonight, and
fun.
We'll see. We'll see how long I last.
I'm going to take it easy this week. We're gonna not have any deliveries mid pod or midstream.
Chat, by the way, asked Christian Watson or Kadarius Toney. I would probably lean Toney personally, considering I think he's going to get more and more involved in the offense every single week, and Mekol's out. There's something about tonight where I think Watson's going to get looks, but I kind of feel like based on the structure of the Titans defense, and we'll get into that in just a second, I kind of feel like it might be an Allen Lazard night. What say you?
I think I'm leaning Watson. I was just watching the Titans versus the Broncos, and even Russ, who is having plenty of struggles and had struggles in that game, was able to carve up their secondary. Their secondary is not playing together right now. They have a lot of talent back there, and some downs they look completely locked down, like you couldn't throw on them a lick. And other downs, there are large gaps, and folks are not playing. The best way I can put it is cohesively. Sorry, I have a fruit fly all of a sudden. Anyways, there are large gaps, and even Russ was able to exploit them. And if Russ was able to exploit them, look, Rodgers is absolutely going to be able to exploit them. And you don't need too many from Christian Watson to make it worth your while. You get 2 or 3 big ones. You get 2 or 3 at 22 or 23 a pop, and add a touchdown in there for what you're talking about. Now, Toney has the potential, the ability to go off. Will he go off? Having been in that offense less long than Watson has been in the Packers offense, it's possible. We've seen it before. We saw it once with the Giants where he just exploded and everybody went, see, I told you. Tony's the real deal. We saw some flashes in his first couple of games with KC. Have we seen what we saw from Watson last week definitively on the field from Tony as a Chief? We haven't. So I lean a little bit towards Watson in that one.
So I'll kind of rope 2 points in together. A, with the Titans defense, and then why I'm it's close. It's very close. I'm semi-leaning Tony. And here's why. So I went and I charted, I looked up all the coverage stats for the Titans defense based on down and distance, because they're one of these defenses like they do what they do. They line up, and you know what you're going to do, and then they dare you to beat them. Yeah. So first down, they are second in calling quarters on first down in the entire league. They call it 27.5% of the time. That's a lot. So they basically say, we trust our defensive line. We can line up. We're going to play quarters behind it, so you can't throw deep, or at least it's going to be harder for you to throw deep with a lot of like the crossing routes and stuff they like to do. And we don't think you can run on essentially our front six, not even front seven. They also play cover three a little bit more than that, but relative to the rest of the league, they're only 22nd in cover three calls on first down. Now, against 12 personnel, which you might not be able to see over here, the green is in 12 personnel, which Green Bay leads the league in 12. They run it 29% of the time, which is a fucking lot. They're higher in cover three against 12 personnel, but they're also higher in quarters too. So even when two tight ends are on the field, they're still thinking pass before they're thinking run. And so I think we're going to get a lot of carries from Aaron Jones into quarters pre-snap looks, and they're going to bet that they can run them out of it to get them into a little bit more cover three. What's interesting, you look at, let's just say defense wins on first down. Second down and 7+. Quarters is by far their highest coverage. Almost 35%. Still second in the league, but 35%. They actually go up in quarters on second and long, because that's more of a passing down. So they're saying, we're going to stop that first, dare you to run it. Then we get them into third and long. Let's say they get a PBU. Third and long, they're cover one. They barely play cover one on first down. They don't really play cover one on second down either. Third down, they're all about it. They love single high man coverage. And the stat that I just looked up when we were talking before the show, press man cover one on third and long specifically, in terms of out of their cover one snaps, press man 55% of the time among their cover one snaps. That's a fucking lot. It's third in the league. Yeah. So they dare you to throw, they dare you to run on early downs, and then they get into third down and they match up man to man. Here's why I'm thinking perhaps Tony over Watson. I think they're going to put Christian Fulton on Watson and not on Allen Lazard. Fulton's a really good corner. He's their best corner. I think they're more scared of Watson ripping off a 50-yard touchdown than they are of Allen Lazard getting a 20-yard slot fade. So I feel like we're going to get a lot of Allen Lazard fades tonight, and you trust Fulton to win against Watson. And if Watson still beats Fulton, honestly, the Packers are just going to win the game anyway. But I kind of feel like Lazard is going to have the easier personnel matchup, so he's going to get fed a lot more of those third and long targets. And that's actually a pretty good segue. If I bring up the prize pick slips I filled out, I actually took the under on Christian Watson targets at 6.5. I think he gets like 5 or 6 because I do think that Fulton's going to follow him around. I took Derrick Henry to get a rushing touchdown tonight because that just felt easy against Packers run defense that has been not good. So I took over on Derrick Henry touchdowns. I took over on Lazard at 48.5 receiving. I took over on carries on Aaron Jones at 13.5. I think he gets more than that because, again, we went over how they structure their early down defense. So I think they're going to get baited into a lot of Aaron Jones carries. And then I took Rodgers. This one is honestly the one I feel a little bit kind of about, and that's Rodgers over 1.5 passing touchdowns. Because once we get in the red zone, I do think it might be the Aaron Jones show down there, but we'll see. Either way, a lot of the statistical study that I did on the Titans defense, how they structure their coverages, how they structure their fronts, went into informing this slip, and by extension, informing the very common Tony versus Watson decision that everybody's facing this week.
Yeah, I think once Aaron gets going, and we've seen this a million times, watching the Bears and every other team that Aaron faces, especially in the cold at Lambeau. Once he gets rolling with the pass, I'm not sure the Titans can buck up against that. Like they have a very good pass rush, but Aaron is good at getting it out quickly. And as long as the offense adjusts and gives him options to go hot and doesn't try and get him into deep 5 and 7 step drops, he's going to be able to find holes in that secondary. They are not playing together very well. They have 5 good defenders, but they're not a really great secondary right now. And we know what it's like when Aaron Rodgers, smells blood in the water.
Mm-hmm.
And if he gets a couple, he's just going to keep going. He's going to keep his foot on the gas, and they could roll them out. Now, again, 3 weeks ago, they didn't have that option to go deep, so the Titans were going to be able to pack it in and sort of make up for some of those space deficiencies. Now you got to guard Watson deep, and Lazard to a point, right? He can make the contested catches. So, but when it was just Lazard, that was okay. Nobody was really afraid of that. When it's Watson over your head for 60 and a touchdown, you got to be different. And don't think they don't have that in their mind from watching it on film all week.
The Titans secondary is extraordinarily reliant on two very good players, which is Christian Fulton and Kevin Byard. And I think that sometimes they can be almost overly reliant on how good they are. And I think, looking at those cover one stats on third down, if you're playing that much man coverage on third down, it's because you trust Christian Fulton is going to take away whoever you put him on. And then you can kind of, work your safety and cheat your safety the other way. But, even when it comes to taking away tight ends, like we saw in the Chiefs game, they put both Fulton and Byard one-on-one on Kelsey several times. If they wanted to bracket somebody else, they did run bracket coverage on Kelsey, but there were some times where they didn't want to allocate all the resources to bracket Kelsey, so they put Fulton on him, and Fulton got a PBU on Kelsey. And so I do sometimes think they're a little bit over-reliant on those guys making plays for them, and the rest of the secondary is just okay. But that being said, I mean, when you got Fulton playing well, and you got Byard playing well, and you got Simmons and Danico Autry, and they're not even all the way healthy. David Long's really good. When all of them are on, you're not scoring against Tennessee. It is kind of a little bit of a boom or bust team, but God, when they boom, they could beat anybody. They took the Chiefs to overtime without even getting a first down. That's how fucking good they are.
Yeah, when they play together, and they do sometimes during every game. It's not like they have off games or down games and then they have great games. Even within the game, they have downs where their secondary looks really good. And then they have a down 3 downs later where there's a 12-yard gap in the cover 2 hole. Nobody's close. It's an easy pitch and catch, and you move the chains. And you're like, wait a minute, 2-3 downs ago, they were locked down. They had everybody pressured up. That front four is creating pressure on the rush. What happened? And it's a little bit like the wheels fall off in the back end, just randomly.
Mm-hmm. Well, that's honestly probably a big reason why they really don't like playing cover 2, is because it's not really their strength.
No, they don't play it well. And their linebackers, they don't really. David Long can carry, but he's not that classic cover 2 middle linebacker, can carry 15 to 20 yards.
He's not Fred Warner. He's not Fred Warner.
He's not. And their linebackers in coverage in general, if you're not talking about a fairly tight area, 7 to 8 yards from the line of scrimmage and between the numbers, they're not great. They don't have that guy. They have guys to pack in and stop the run. They have guys against little hook tight end routes. They have those guys. But when you're running, say, move tight ends on out routes to the boundary, they don't carry it well. They don't have underneath coverage. They've got this great front four. We need to talk about that defensive line. It is creating massive amounts of pressure. Rashad Weaver, we talked about him on Shot of the Week this week. He's breaking out a little bit. They have talent all up and down that line, and they can get home with 4 better than almost any team in the league. However, if they get hung up, you're not you're not going to see great coverage for a while from the secondary. So
one more look at the slip for those in chat, because I know a lot of people are kind of rolling in late. I got Aaron Rodgers over 1.5 touchdowns. I got Aaron Jones over 13.5 attempts. I have Lazard over 48.5 receiving. I have Christian Watson under 6.5 targets. Barely, but I do. I think he gets 5 or 6 targets tonight, not 7 or 8. And then I have Derrick Henry getting a rushing touchdown. So that's the slip for tonight. If you guys feel like tailing it based on all of this defensive study that I've been doing this week leading up to this stream, obviously if you use promo code BOOTLEG, you'll get a match deposit up to $100 over on Prize Picks that you can use not just for this game, but on the Sunday games, Monday game, any other sports, even, NBA is going right now, you got hockey. You can use it on anything on the site. You don't even need to deposit 100, you could deposit 10 and they'll match that. This is a $20 slip, for instance. And it's a massive help for anybody that does happen to play on the site, because they are our biggest sponsor, and keeping them happy is how we keep getting to do this. So appreciate everybody that does that tonight, and hopefully we get back on the horse this week, because last Thursday's game was not great for old Brett over here.
Yeah, Shawshank has a great question in chat. Thoughts on Prize Picks new 6-play flex or 6-flex play? Really cool option. You can win up to 25 times your money. It launched yesterday. I put out a tweet about it. If you get 6 out of 6 on their 6-flex parlay entry, you get 25 times the money. If you get 5 correct, I believe it's 2 times the money. And if you get 4 correct, it's still 0.04. So you're going to cover your bet.
No, if you get 5, I think it's 10.
Is it?
I think so.
All right, I'll have to check the odds, but the one I know is if you nail all 6, you're going 25 times your initial bet.
Yeah.
So what do I think about that? I think it could pay your mortgage for a few months with a very small bet. Yeah.
Let me look, actually. So I wonder if I can build a second one here.
Oh, I bet you can.
How do we do that? I'm just curious, because I want to look at what the payouts are. So let's do, because I wanted to do one where the Titans got a whole bunch of sacks. Let me throw that one in.
All right.
Oh, I can amend my slip.
Ooh.
Okay. What do I want to add here? Robert Woods, 28.5 receiving. How do you feel like Robert Woods over 28.5 receiving yards?
He's been really quiet for a few weeks now, and Nick Westbrook-Akine had a huge week last week and was clearly their wide receiver 1. And if I feel really good. This is kind of like one arm patting myself on the back saying, hey, I mentioned him in the offseason as a guy that was better than people thought. I wasn't to the point where I was like, oh yeah, Nick Westbrook-Akine for wide receiver 1, but he clearly was last week. He went off completely. He had 5 for 119 at 23.8 per and 2 TDs, including that flea flicker. But he played big all day, and Woods just kind of didn't. Woods was 2 for 10 for 5 yards each, last week. It's been quiet. Could he? Of course. Has he recently? No.
I basically just copy and pasted the slip that I read out, but I added Westbrook-Akine over 21.5 receiving yards.
Yes.
Which felt
100%.
Felt super free.
He is, it's basically a free square. He is playing as their wide receiver 1 right now because Treylon Burks still learning, dropping balls, kind of the early Christian Watson story. Hasn't had that big breakout moment yet. Woods is playing quiet, and that literally leaves Nick Westbrook-Akine, and he's been stepping up huge.
Also, I had it wrong. The 5 out of 5 being 10x was on the 5-man slip.
It was on the 5.
So that was what I was thinking of. You're right. 6 out of 6 is a 25x payout. 5 out of 6 is the 2x, so you basically get insurance on it. And if you get 4, you get a 0.4x payout. So, but the max payout if you hit all 6 compared to hitting all 5 before goes up from 10x to 25x. So on a $20 slip, pays $500 if we hit all 6 tonight. I'll take that. I'll absolutely take that.
Yeah, we should have a good time. And again, I think this is going to be an interesting game. It could break early. Like one team could put their foot down early and make it uninteresting, but I don't think it's going to go that way. I actually think we're going to get to the point where second half adjustments matter. and whoever makes the better set of second half adjustments and executes a little bit better after halftime, I think that's gonna be the difference. I don't think anybody's gonna run away from it. The exception being, look, if Aaron gets hot, hits a couple bombs to Watson, goes up by a couple scores at home, yeah, the Titans offense isn't meant to play in boat races. That's just not how they're built.
We got a couple super chats I want to get to. First one from Zach for $5. Thank you, Zach. Appreciate that. Why is Lombardi using Herbert like he's Drew Brees? And should the Chargers look to replace him as OC, or is he not the problem? Very multi-layered question there. Why is he using him like he's Brees? Because they don't have Devery Henderson. They don't really have any weapons to stretch the field right now. Their top two receivers were hurt. DeAndre Carter is not a classic field stretcher with the type of deep speed that you need for that. Guyton's hurt as well, I think, if I recall correctly. I think he went out like week 3 for the year, if I recall correctly. So, they're down to wide receiver
3.
Yeah, the wide receiver 3 with Palmer and wide receiver 5 with DeAndre Carter. And Palmer's good, but he's not 4-3. So there's certain balls that just aren't really gonna pay off with him, and so their offense is limited vertically because of that. That being said, it's also extraordinarily predictable, and I think that Lombardi does treat Herbert with kid gloves sometimes that he really doesn't need to. And I would look at other options at offensive coordinator next year because of that. I would like to get a fresh face in there, but I think the more important component is they got to draft some speed. They got to draft a lot of speed. And luckily, there's some dudes coming out in the draft this year that can fill that role. But we need somebody who's faster than 4.5 in this receiving core. Like, I love Keenan. I love Mike. And what they do really well. We got to get speed desperately, or it's just not going to work.
And Herbert's been banged up. His ribs are healing, but his ribs were torn apart. Like, his ribs were a mess. And even though he's superhuman and has this thunderbolt attached to his right side, when you can't twist and you can't turn, you're not generating that, field whipping 65-yard torque. And even if he did, it then lends into that exact wide receiver argument about who's going to go get it when he whips it out that far. So you can see him healing. He is coming back together. He is making more throws with more velocity down the field. So his part of that equation, which has been significant for the last month, is starting to ebb. He's gonna be back to himself, the alien that he is. We all sort of expect that. The thing that's not going to change is the wide receiver core is banged up, and even when it's healthy, it's not fast. And they're not going to go get a bunch of guys that are really fast right now. In the offseason, it has to be the priority. That's why he's having Herbert throw short, is because he doesn't have. It's very much like what the Packers offense looked like without Watson, pre-Watson emergence. Who are you going to whip it deep to? Lazard? Not really. Like, he's a good contested catch guy, but he's not. He's more like Mike Williams. He's not going to run away from people and just clear the top off a safety. And they've tried to get those guys, but they haven't been able to. So the Chargers really need to.
Kel for $5. Thank you, Kel. What's the plan for next Thursday, guys? Will you be streaming a game? All 3 games, no games for non-U.S. viewers. It's a national holiday. Yeah, that's right. There are probably a lot of people in the stream right now that are from other countries that maybe don't realize that's Thanksgiving. We will, unfortunately, not be streaming on Thursday because we will be spending time with our families, which is, I'm sure some of you would love to spend Thanksgiving with us instead of your real families. I personally understand that. Totally understand that. I love all my family members for the ones that are watching, I promise. But we will be spending time with them and eating turkey and watching football. I'll probably still be in the Discord, talking shit on Discord, but we will not be streaming specifically on Thursday. So we'll be back to live streams the Thursday following that, which I can't remember what the TNF game is for week 13, but whatever that matchup is, that's the next time we're going.
Here. I just got to scroll down. Week 12 is okay. Bills Lions is Thanksgiving, and then interestingly, Bills Patriots. So the Bills play on Thursday, 2 weeks in a row. They play
Ooh.
They play Bills Lions on obviously Thanksgiving, and then Bills Patriots is Thursday, December 1st.
So are the Bills just staying in Detroit? Because
I
they play there this week, and then they play there on Thursday. So just stay in
I
Detroit.
it's probably going to be a whole lot easier than trying to fly home when there's 5 feet of snow on the ground.
I'd
Yeah,
bet they just stay there. Yeah.
it's gonna be a mess. Like it's already a mess to move an NFL game. If anybody's not familiar with that, like it is a huge hassle and undertaking to move an NFL game. To try and get everybody back into a snowed in Buffalo and then back to like why? Yeah.
Oh, Patriots also play on Thanksgiving, so they're both going to have equal rest going into that TNF game, which is rare.
Yeah,
Very rare. Okay, that's fascinating. I'm looking forward to that. The TNF matchups are picking up in the back half of the year.
You're hoping so.
We're okay. We're doing okay. Let's see. We had another couple super chats here I want to get to. JJ for $10. What's up, JJ? Welcome back. Happy TNF and happy TNF to you. I hope you guys are having a great day. I found out for Christmas my mom is sending me and my best friend to Vegas for a Penguins game. Ooh, you're going to love that. I also hit on a 5-team parlay Monday that turned $25 into $640. Okay, so take that $640 when you go to Vegas, have that pay for the trip, and then put down another 25 on another 5-team parlay and see if that can pay for another trip to Vegas. And just keep kind of, cycling your way through that town, which is what EJ and I have done a couple times at this point.
Yeah, J-Dub. Appreciate you, Brett and EJ. Thanks for all the content and memories. You are more than welcome. We are happy to provide them. Please keep any curses you feel like dishing out away from my Panthers. Whoops. Too late.
They curse themselves, man.
Yeah.
They don't need any help from us. They really don't.
We've been saying some nice things about them lately, so I don't know if that's gonna. I hope that doesn't derail any of the success they're having right now, because it is really fun to watch. I mean, we got to watch them last week on Thursday. It is really fun to watch that offensive line and Deontay Foreman do the thing right now. Like that is fun football, and they should be able to sort of build success off of that. It's a building block type element of an offense, and look, they got a lot of talent on defense too. It's amazing. When Matt Rule left, everybody was like, "Oh yeah, look, Panthers are really talented. Like they have a lot of players." And it's like they always had a lot of players.
They just didn't have the right coach.
This is the difference that coaching makes. And I think the Panthers are sort of a very clear case of that, of like no major changes, not like they picked up a quarterback or traded for somebody or somebody suddenly got healthy. I mean, they have their regular up and down health like every team does, but they are just playing better with what they have right off the crack as soon as Steve Wilkes takes over. And that's a pretty clear indictment that Matt Rule was not it.
What did you mean by MFC in the tweet, Brett? Middle field cover. So MFC means middle field closed. So there's two different coverage structures. There's debate about quarter, half, and which one it is. I just consider it middle field open. So middle field closed is when there's one safety in the deep middle. So you close the middle of the field with that safety. Middle field open is when you're in a too high safety structure, whether it's quarters or cover two, or I consider quarter, half to also be middle field closed. Again, there's debate on that, but I would say most coaches consider that to be, I consider quarter, half to be middle field open, because that deep half safety is not sitting in the middle. He's sitting on the boundary, so the middle field is still open. So middle field open is two high safeties. So there's a big old seam in the middle of the field. Middle field closed is one high safety, which closes the middle of the field. So those are whenever somebody talks about MoFo or MFC, that's what they mean.
You know, my favorite thing about that whole explanation is the universal sign language for two high safety shell.
The fists, yeah. You watch enough coaching clinics and everybody.
No, it is completely understood. It's the same in every language, which is rare for coaching debates. JB and I were just talking about this, my other podcast partner at Bears Over Beers, and we were talking about on our drive to lunch yesterday, we were talking about some of the things that you and I get into and why I don't wade into those waters in terms of what the calls are and what they are called. And it's because almost everybody has a different name for something. And as soon as you use the name, not the concept or the structure, everybody jumps on you and goes, but that's blah, blah, blah. And you spend all your time arguing about what the name is, not about what they're doing. And you're like, no. And you and I had that discussion early on because I was like, I don't really like, not really into naming coverage and routes, especially routes. Routes is the same way on the other side on offense. You call something one thing and, some wide receiver coach from wherever like jumps you and is like, that's not that, it's jet. And you're like, well, that could be. Look, the guy's going.
It's not a square in, it's a basic. It's like, shut up, Kyle Shanahan. It's a square in.
This is where I start grumbling loudly. So I tend to stay out a lot of the terminology and focus more on concept. What is it that the offense is trying to do? What is it that the defense is trying to do to try and move each other around? And how are they executing that? What's the role of the player? Now, whether you want to call that player this, that, the other, it's like, what's that player supposed to do? And that's what we try and bring to all of you, is not just a bunch of gobbledygook so everybody sounds smart. We try and make you understand, or help you understand, what really is at the base of that. What are they trying to do? What are they trying to accomplish, and how are they trying to do that?
All right, first play of the game for the Titans here. Play action. Chig asking for a flag. I don't think he's going to get it on Quay Walker. No. Also love to see them trying to get Chig involved a lot more lately.
It's legit snowing. I'm happy.
Yeah, I don't. Well, so the field in Green Bay is heated, but I don't know if they have the heat on during games. So either way, I guess we'll see if there's accumulation or not. But
it's snowing. It's almost November. It's almost Thanksgiving. Like we've got football on a snowy field. Like let a snowing field.
This has got to be outside zone out of a tight bunch. They love that on second down, and yeah, there it is, split zone.
Really interesting. In my little watch sheet here where I was making notes about the Titans, they're a really good zone run team right now, inside or outside, but more inside. Inside zone is still a very scary play when this offense runs it, because you got to take care of the blockers, but then you got Derrick Henry running over your face, and the Titans want to step on your face. Like that's their gig. They want to step on your face. They are not great at gap power. They tried some short yardage stuff against the Broncos, gap power last week, and they are not the same team running basically man runs versus zone runs.
Well, you need the right running back for it. And as great as Derrick Henry is, if you're going to be good at gap, you kind of need somebody who's got it. Who is that? Woods?
Beautiful. No, it's Burks.
Treylon. Oh, there we go. Treylon made a play. How about that?
So Tannehill's playing slow right now. It's a little bit of the ankle injury, but he's also playing physically slow. Like, his motion has slowed down. He had a tighter throwing motion a couple of years ago than he does now. He's almost added this loop. You talk about quarterback mechanics, basically bringing the nose of the ball down. It's almost what Byron Leftwich used to do with the ball. And like, Tannehill has added a loop. I don't know why, but his throwing motion is slower. So they need to protect like that if they're going to get those long developing routes. And man, did they give him protection against what is a very talented Green Bay line. But if you look at the pocket that Tannehill had, he waited a long time to let that ball go to Burks.
So that run that we just saw from Henry right there, that was counter, is one of the only gap runs they're actually good at.
That they're hitting right now.
That they're hitting, because to finish my point from earlier, if you're going to run duo or you're going to run power, like you kind of need a running back that, almost like the Le'Veon Bell, has the ability to stop, start, and kind of, really sift his way through when things kind of get blocked up, and you got to be able to bounce and everything like that. Derrick Henry is very much a battleship, where when he's going, and he turns slowly, but that's why I think he's very much a better running back at inside zone and outside zone, where it's less about cutting and it's more about slashing, because he doesn't have to fully stop all his momentum. You look at counter, which is a gap run, but counter, like, the seam is just gonna get created, and the question is, do they fill it or not? And so counter, again, it's more of a slashing style gap run than it is like a stop start, bounce it type of gap run. And so it hits a little bit slower. So somebody of his physical Makeup is
Oh,
better at it. Oh, nice stiff arm.
yeah. Dean Lowry just got a face full of Derrick Henry stiff arm.
Yeah, well, I feel like a November game in the snow, if Derrick Henry gets anything less than like 24 carries, I'd be kind of stunned. We're going to see a lot of this tonight. So even if he gets 3 to 4, we still got another 20 to go.
Doink. Yeah, no, we're gonna see Henry get a bunch of carries. He's amazing physically. That he's so big, so powerful, so fast. Has taken so many carries, so many hits, and he just continues to carry that kind of workload, and not really slow it down. I don't know. It's at some point it'll drop off, but it hasn't yet.
So seeing him hit stick against quarters, the one thing with quarters is if you got trips to the field and they're running quarters, so the corner is running with number 1 vertical, the nickel's running with number 2 vertical. There's nobody else in the flat, so if you're running a stick route with number 3 against a linebacker that's inside leverage, it's pretty much an automatic completion unless that linebacker is like Fred Warner. So I think as long as they keep running quarters, they're going to keep hitting those sticks until they run something else.
Green Bay's going to bring. Yep, they're bringing a dude. Tannehill saw it. He did amazingly.
There it is. Touchdown.
Amazingly, he didn't go hot. I'm impressed. He did go to the back, but he waited on that. He knew they were coming. He stepped up and said, "They're coming," and they got it in anyways. I'm impressed.
I think he read that they were bringing 5 and not 6, so he just slid it instead of trying to just throw hot.
Oh, you know who?
Or they
who did that?
They got a chip from Hilliard. It looked like, right?
No, they got a chip for Hilliard from.
I didn't see it. Who was it? Chig? There we go.
It was Chig. Yep.
I love Chig. Actually, he started tonight. Is this his first start?
It might officially be his first start. They are they're still throwing more to Hooper. They're still featuring Hooper more, but basically the 6th guy off the edge, Chig chipped him just a little. It's chip leak or chip release, whatever you want to call it. And Hilliard was already moving, and it gave Tannehill the extra 2 steps he needed to wait for that depth and not throw it immediately, which is what I was referring to as hot, which is guy comes off that side, you're trying to throw into the gap that he's vacated, and usually it's like a 2-3 yard completion. You just want to get it out. But because Chig bumped that guy into an arc, he had 2 extra steps, and that becomes a 5 to 7 yard completion, and it becomes a touchdown, which is really impressive.
Also gave the tackle, because there was a chip, gave the tackle a lot more time to post step first and jam the 3 and then kick out to pick up the edge. So great adjustment by Tannehill.
It's the little things, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like if you go back and look at it, you're going to be like, "What? Why are they talking up that block from Chig? Like he barely touched him, and he did. He knocked him off. He knocked him off stride by 2 steps, and it was enough because it's a game of inches."
Catching up on super chats here. Fade for 250. What do the Raiders do at 2? I need Young to Carr? Or
there's a debate today about whether or not they take a quarterback, and I think they do one way or another. Either they trade Derek Carr, or if they cut and release him, Trevor, our buddy Trevor Sikkema for PFF, was talking about this today on his pod. He said, he quoted this, and I'm sure he got it from Brad, who also works for PFF. It's $5 million dead cap if they cut him next year. Carr, that is.
I don't know if they will, because the whole reason Devontae went there was for Derek Carr.
I understand, but Devontae also wants to win, and Derek Carr, we talked about this on the pod this week. Crying at your press conference is one thing, but you got to be part of the solution on the field, and you brought up the times when he's not seeing the field, when he's not hitting plays that have been schemed up and are open.
Mm-hmm.
And there is going to be a lack of patience at some point, and I would imagine at their end of season review, they will look at it and say, was he more of a solution, or was he, again, for what because his cap accelerates to like 32 or 35 million next year. Like he's
something like that.
He's getting paid top quarterback money next year, and he's going to have to perform like top quarterbacks do, or they're going to go with a cheaper option. And if they're drafting at 2 or 3, they're going to have a very good option to go after one of the top quarterbacks. And you don't get that option all the time. And I think they actually do it.
My suspicion, because they also can't get pressure worth a damn right now at all. My suspicion is Jalen Carter. That's my suspicion. Is they're gonna give Carr and Devontae one more year, and they're gonna get somebody who can get pressure and improve their defense, because their defense is also a big reason why they can't fucking win games. That's what I suspect. Now, is it the right move? I don't know.
No,
but I think that's what they're gonna do.
I'm wholly against that, and I bet McDaniels is too. Like, McDaniels is an offensive head coach, and he knows that he has to put up points, and if they don't, they won't win. And that you can get players who can help your pass rush. I mean, look at Max, right? Max is not a top pick.
No, he's a third rounder, right?
Yeah, you can get players who help your pass rush in the second. You cannot usually get top quarterbacks out of the top 15 or 20. I mean, there are exceptions. We're looking at one, right? Sat in the green room longer than anybody else, but it's not likely. It's much more typical, and I think they might go quarterback at the top. And if you'd asked me that 6 weeks ago, I would have said no, absolutely not. And it just hasn't really meshed out there in Vegas.
Packers started out in 21 personnel, which is fascinating to me. So naturally, that's when we see the middle field closed structure, because if you trot a 2-back look out there, or even if it's with a tight end, if it's technically 12 but you're lining up in the eye, they ain't going to play quarters into that. So they're basically lining up and saying, we're going to run it, see if you can stop it. And the Titans are really good at stopping it when you telegraph it. So they got both Jones and Dillon out there.
Yeah, I'm not surprised by this at all. So we see the Packers go to a wide run structure really early. And one of the things I have on my note sheet for the Titans is that they are susceptible to screens and wide runs.
Mm-hmm.
Right. And a screen is basically a wide run. It's using the pass to replicate a wide run. And they're not great against it. Again, that front four is so formidable, and they are great at coming off the ball and pass rushing. But if you can run either kind of wide toss or a quick screen, wide receiver screen, or draw to use that sort of aggressiveness against them, if you can sort of poke a hole and run a draw, like the Titans, again, the linebacking core does not have, they're good at stopping what I'll call traditional runs. They're sort of built in Vrabel's image, if you want, right? They are great at filling gaps in the middle of the field. But when you spread them out and run a draw, or spread them out and run a wide receiver screen, the Titans are susceptible.
So we saw on 3rd and 6 a classic Packers third down call, trying to get, they lined up in 4-by-1, so you get number 4 into the flat with everybody else either running off the coverage or blocking, basically just doing like a flat screen like you just mentioned. Didn't work, missed the throw. Him and Tanyan weren't on the same page in terms of the depth. And that was something that we called out a month ago. It's like they kind of lean into that way too much when they absolutely need to get it on 3rd down, and I think it's because they just don't trust a lot of their guys to win. And I think they should, because last week Watson won a lot for them in those types of down and distances, and I would have liked to see them try that again instead of going back to the well with the quick pass game. But what can you do?
I've got Tanyan down for a big game tonight because their linebackers don't cover the pass really well. And Tanyan can get to the outside, the place where I said their linebackers don't typically carry it very well.
Mm-hmm.
Tanyan's been quiet. The connection has not been what it has been in previous years, all that. I think we're going to see it a couple of times, not like, 5, blah, blah, blah. I think we're going to see it a couple of times tonight where Tanyan gets on top of those linebackers to the outside, maybe only at like a 12 or 15-yard depth, but he's going to get some decent catches. I want to get to Max's super chat because it's worth $20. Thank you very much, Max. I missed the last 2 weeks, but I don't think I really missed much.
No, wow. You didn't.
Nope. IKEA update. Had to call my uncle, who was literally an architect for 30 years, and it still took an embarrassing amount of time, but we finished eventually. Oh, that hits, Max. I have friends going to IKEA tomorrow. They mentioned that was on their Friday list, and so very timely comment.
Oh, so they want to get divorced.
they're not married. It's mother and son. But I was like, oh, so I'll just leave you be so that the frustration can boil over elsewhere. Yeah,
they put in extra pieces just to fuck with you, I swear.
Well, see, nobody complains when Lego does that. But anyways, no, I don't struggle with IKEA stuff. I understand folks that do, but you were talking about an IKEA piece where there was a missing part, not too many parts, and I have had that. I've had to go back to IKEA. They have a decent parts department and be like, so at the end of the night, this didn't go together because I didn't have 4 of these.
Give me the dowel.
That's right. I need the whatever you're gonna
Fjellklug.
Right, whatever Scandinavian name you're naming a 3-inch Allen screw. Like, come on.
Oh man. Max for $2 or sorry, Pax for $2. Do y'all think the Texans draft a quarterback this year? Probably. The question is, how high is their pick? I would imagine they would. Like, again, Davis Mills had a good rookie year, but I haven't seen enough this year to make me pass on anybody else. So I think they do it.
No, there's been regression. And the other thing is, if Davis Mills gets hurt, which is a very real option in this league, it happens all the time. What do you got?
Nothing.
And the answer is nothing. Like, legit nothing. So, yeah, go get a quarterback. If Mills wins out and the rookie gets to sit and learn underneath that for a year and then get their shot, cool. If the rookie takes the reins, or you decide that it's their development year and you're just going to, bite the bullet and deal with that, and you've got a backup of Mills, you're still in a good spot. So, how's your
I haven't tasted it yet. I've been talking for 40 minutes. Second and 8 here.
Fix that.
Looks like we're getting a little return motion. Are we going to run the ball again? Kind of feels like it.
Oh, no.
No, we're not. We're getting sacked. Okay.
That was horrendous start to finish. That almost looked like they weren't on the same page, because the play action fake, he almost ran into him. So look at the depth that Henry gets. He doesn't go near as wide as Tannehill thinks he's going to, because Tannehill basically steps into him. Watch this. Whoops.
Did they just let Quay through? Yeah, they just let Quay through.
Yeah, but he had 2 other guys with him. It wasn't just Quay.
Yeah.
I mean, that's Preston Smith.
Quay started it, but...
Yeah, but Preston Smith was there, and so was the other end. So,
yeah.
Yikes.
So that's one of those play the run on the way to the quarterback.
Yeah, that's... Oh, there you go. There's your draw right there.
Yeah, for
what did I say about draw?
5 yards.
Yeah.
But 3rd and 17. If you're calling a draw on 3rd and 17, you're punting.
There's boos from the Titans fans. There were boos last week, and yeah.
All right, let's try this.
Happy with it. Yeah.
Oh man,
let's try that.
It smells like smell the barrel.
Ooh, I learned a new term about barrels last night.
Oh fuck. Oh my god, I needed like a fireplace and a good book. That's what I need.
There's a special teams hit right there. Who's 42?
Fuck, this is good. I wish I could
There's
describe this. Stonehouse. That's my dude.
Yeah, it wasn't a tackle. Oh, Joe Jones. That's why I don't know who it is. He is the 3rd string inside linebacker. No idea who Joe Jones is, but that was a nice hit on special teams.
This is gonna sound weird. I've never had an earthy Calvados before. This is an earthy Calvados, and it's phenomenal.
Sounds great. It's been a weird week. It's only Thursday, but it's been a weird week. My week started with a Monday night text from you about monkeys in Thailand. And anybody that doesn't think this is a weird job, that's the kind of stuff that goes on. So it started there, and I'm not going to say it's gone downhill.
Not just monkeys in Thailand, monkey slaves in Thailand.
Monkey slaves in Thailand. I was going to leave the slavery part out, but anyways, yes, no, and it's just wandered from there. I'm not going to say up or down. I'm going to say it's been all over the place this week, and And earthy Calvados is not one of the weirdest things. Doesn't even make the top 5.
Max for $2. Brett, you wanted to know what TV? A 75-inch Sony X85K. Okay, so what investment firm do you run to get one of those? Because I'm jealous. Holy shit!
It's a nice
Super Bowl party at your house, dude. My God, I'm really jealous. I got I got a 60. I thought I was rolling in it.
That's a 75, but it's not a Sony. It's Philips. It's nice, but it's about 4 years old. So,
do you have an OLED?
No, I got that. It's the one underneath the OLED. It's QLED, I think.
QLED's still really good.
Yeah, no, it was a QLED, and it was a scratch and dent. Didn't come in the box. That's not scratched or dented.
Love those.
Yeah, I waited almost a year to get it because I saw it on the floor and I was like, I can't pay quite that much. And you know how it is. They'll leave it on the floor and it'll go down. Not by very much, but it's just about 2 years old now because it was right before Christmas 2 years ago and it dropped to like basically what cost was on, and I was like, well, it's not going any lower, so I should go get it.
All right, here we go. 1st and 10. So again, typically what we're looking at here, depending on personnel grouping, if they're in 12 personnel, which I think they might be. Do I see 2 tight ends? No, I think it's 11. Wide. So I would expect either quarters or cover 3. It looks like cover 3.
Yeah, they were trying to shift it.
I don't know.
Hooker was dropping back there. They were trying to, or sorry, no, Byard was dropping back.
It looked like on the motion they got out of it and started going into quarters, and then they snapped it.
They were
snapped it in the middle of the motion.
Yeah, they were going back to a too high.
Well,
ooh, second interesting.
What, the front pouch?
No, the tape job.
Oh, I think you're a couple seconds. Oh, there it is. Okay, yeah, you're a couple seconds ahead of me. That thumb's been bothering him for a while now.
Yeah, that's a pretty aggressive taping from a PT. I mean, for a quarterback, from a PT sense.
2nd and 1 here. Pretty much every play is available to you. I would expect they're thinking shot, so we're probably looking at too high structure. Yep, they're in quarters, and they ran into it.
Yeah, well, there's your Aaron Jones picking up carries.
Well, that's what we talked about, is anytime they showed quarters, they were just get, especially when first downs come at a premium for this team, if they show quarters on 2nd and 1, they're just going to take the free first down and give the ball
and
off.
There's no reason that they shouldn't, because Aaron Jones is that kind of back. You were talking about having the kind of back that can run gap or power. Yeah, Aaron Jones fits the profile that you laid out just about perfectly. The ability to stop and start, can cut motion and carry speed. Like he's the anti-Derrick Henry in a lot of ways.
All right, let's see what we got here. First down again. I think they went empty. Yeah. Oh, quads. Empty quads.
Yeah. And look what they're doing.
Another screen.
Yeah, they were going to the outside, but they got nothing. Titans shut that down very well. And they didn't do that so well against the Broncos. That is both why Green Bay is trying it, and also they did the same thing. This is classic sort of, the offensive room over on the Green Bay side was like, hey, they didn't do this well. We're going to do a bunch of this. And the Titans defensive room is looking at the same film and going, we didn't do this very well. We got to lock this down. They're coming. They're going to be pushing wide runs and quick screens. And then it's just about execution. It's not like neither one of them don't know what's going on. Packers are going to try it. And if the Titans can shut it down, they'll make them try something else. Look at that ball.
Oh, I mean, what are you even supposed to do?
Nothing.
Nothing.
That's classic Aaron Rodgers right there. Like classic Aaron Rodgers. Just sit back and sling it with that easy motion. Randall Cobb, the ageless Randall Cobb, still out there just, oh, man, right on the money, right in the hands. Look at this. Zip.
Hell of a ball. Great call, too, to get him out of a jam on 2nd and long where everybody thought they were just going to do quick game.
Yeah, yep.
Great job.
No, I agree.
You see the super chat from Shackstar? I'm a public defender, and one of the judges I practice in front of is Dean Lowry's dad.
That's hilarious.
That's awesome. I love that.
And props to you for being a public defender. That is not
an easy hard job.
That is not an easy job. So
big cheers to you. You deal with some shit, sure. My God.
Sure. Shit, sure.
I was doing film rooms before this, so I'm like already 5 drinks in. Just so you know.
Oh, I do know. I do know. I was having a conversation about the Kaio yesterday, and I was reminded that I poured you your initial one, you poured a refill, and then on the way to the Broncos Seahawks game, you reminded me that you poured your own during a break. I was like, oh, so it was 3 Kaios during the podcast.
I was feeling great for that Seahawks
You
game.
were
I was feeling
until
awesome.
you realized you hadn't had any food. They
Oh my
almost got
God, AJ Dillon caught a pass.
that. And did what AJ Dillon does after that, which is run through a couple of guys, make it hard to tackle. So interesting.
Let me see where I stand at the slip. I don't know how many carries Aaron Jones has so far, but I think it's like 2. 4. Oh, he's got 4 already. Okay. All right.
Yeah, no, I was gonna say he has at least 3 that I know of, but I missed one. So there
We're
you
on
go.
decent pace. Decent pace.
David Rivera Jr. says, "I got a rule: only start superstars on primetime games." Okay. Oh, speaking of superstars, oh, ball.
Put the helmet right on the ball. I think it was Byard.
Well, one thing about the Titans that I don't have to have notes on at all, and you probably all know it already, is they will hit you. This is a
Yeah, they will.
they are a tough team, and they will knock the snot out of you. This is a team that hits on the defensive line, the linebackers, corner, safeties. Ooh, boy, there's almost no way. That's not like he was carrying it out there like a loaf of bread. And
No.
being careless with it. Like that is all 200-ish pounds of a defensive back concentrated on the crown of his helmet, hitting your forearm. Like, good luck.
Also, credit to Randall Cobb for getting that thing, because I'll tell you what, there is nothing more terrifying than jumping into a pile in the NFL with a loose ball. That is just asking for disaster to strike your body. Like,
Yes.
you're going to get a mountain
Uh-oh.
of man
Here
on
it
top
is.
of you. Tanyan?
Yep.
Ran through Byard, too.
Yep.
Yeah, no, jumping into piles in the NFL with a loose ball is fucking horrifying. So credit to Cobb for just going right in and going for it.
Yep. Oh man, look at the timing from the Packers there, specifically from Rodgers. Back barely crosses in front of him. He throws that with a low arm angle to get it out right behind him. That's real artistry stuff. You do not see that kind of syncopation on a lot of NFL offenses, and Rodgers has just been doing it for so damn long.
Packers got a good drive going here. All right, quarters on first down. Again, they're second in the NFL in first down quarters.
And they're going for those edges, man. The Titans are not letting them have it, but they are going for those edges. Like, they are keeping at it. That's 4th or 5th play that they've just whipped it out to the edge. They saw the same thing on film, that against the Broncos, the Titans could not contain that. Broncos got a lot of yards off it. And so they're trying it. They're poking to see if they can find the weakness and do the same thing. And so far, Titans have been multiple guys to the ball on the outside and really limited those gains. So credit to Tennessee so far.
We gotta get a zone insert here. And see, that's why you don't want to attack up the middle, because if our game plan is, hey, we're gonna choose between can we block their defensive line or can we make their corners tackle, I would rather try to make their corners tackle, because you're not gonna block these dudes; they're too good.
What?
I think Rodgers got a free play. Oh,
Yeah.
are we calling that a touchdown?
I don't know what we're calling that, but
Did he go up and get that and hold on to it?
oh, it is. It's a touchdown. It's a free play.
The extension for Watson to go up and pluck that.
Wow. We knew that was the guy he was, but watch this. Watch him get back quick. They nail the Titans. They're not ready. And he's like, go do it. They're not set, and just lofts that
He
thing.
just pointed and said, go there. Oh,
Yeah,
man.
I mean, like, you're taller than that guy by a whole helmet. Like, go win.
Oh, man. What a play. What a play
that
for the
is-
kid.
LaFleur and Aaron Rodgers going, hey, let's see if we can get him. They block it?
They did.
They blocked it.
They just completely fucked it up. I guess we're going to... Are we trying to return this? I guess not.
We are trying to return it, but I don't really...
The band is on the field, EJ.
No, the band is in the grass right now. Oh my
man.
God.
Also,
So
I got Christian Watson going on two leagues tonight, so I'm pretty happy about that.
Look at that. Okay, quarterbacks coaches, do not show that to your player. Like, they can't do that.
No.
That little sidestep, back foot not planted, shuffle, sling it, and put it in the perfect spot. Like, they're not Aaron Rodgers. Just don't show them that one. Wide receiver coaches, sure. He probably can't do it either, but, they're not Christian Watson. But that's just that's Jimmy's and Joe's over X's and O's. That's like, they said, let's see if we can get them not set and then just go make a play.
Yeah.
And we've got the guys. We've got Aaron Rodgers on one end and Christian Watson on the other end. Let's see if we can just chuck it up and get something out of this. And that's all that was. That's like you said,
it had nothing to do with all of this. Nothing to do with all this.
No, scratch all that, scratch tendencies, scratch. And no, that is literally just like, yo, go. Like you said, he's pointing at Watson going, go jump over him.
And what I find encouraging about Watson going forward, and when we talked about it in the show this week, was you're starting to see Aaron take this fuck it, if he drops it approach, and he recognizes that that's the most talented guy on the field, and so he's just gonna keep throwing it to him and hope for the best, and no more of this like, well, he dropped it once, I'm gonna ignore him for the next 2 quarters. Like, he's just going, and he's like, look, we're 4-6, we got to make a play here.
Yeah, he's got no hope. And we talked about this on the podcast. Like, there is nowhere else to turn, again, on that receiving core for a similar outcome. Mm-hmm. There is nobody else that he can say, go just run by the safety. Go run 20 yards, jump over Christian Fulton, and get a touchdown. Like, so he's building a new muscle for Aaron Rodgers, which is called rookie tolerance. And he's not had it in the past. And now he doesn't have a choice. So he's like, I'm just going to keep whipping it up to you until you keep making plays, because you're going to drop some, but I can't go, well, you dropped it, so I'm going to spread it around to these other 3 superstars I have.
Spread it to who?
He's looking around going, there's nobody else, so I'm just going to keep throwing it to you. Cool.
Yeah.
Christian Watson, like, all right, let's go. And it's this lucky convergence or happenstance, because for Rodgers' entire career, that was a death sentence. You dropped your first 2 balls, you might not get another for a quarter of the season, right? And then you're going to get 1. Like, he was going to go to his tried and true assets, but he knows Randall Cobb is not that guy to go win at this point. And Watson can be, so he's like, well, I guess I'm going to have to learn with the rook and keep feeding him, and we're going to see more plays like that. How's that affect your slip, by the way?
It just counts as a catch. I just had him under 6.5 targets, so as long as he gets 5 or fewer targets the rest of the night, we're okay.
Who, Watson?
Yeah, I only had it for targets. I didn't have it for yards.
Oh, or touchdowns.
Well, I kind of thought he might actually score.
The Watson anytime touchdown was like, people were like, should I play Watson? And this is we had this debate, or, we were talking about this. Fantasy starts like, oh, should I play Kadarius Toney or should I play Watson? And I'm like, after last week, they know how important Watson is. And again, they don't have another option. It's not like, oh, we'll rotate the offense away from him this week, the passing offense. We'll go to that other guy. Who are they going to go to?
Guy with no vowels said, you had Rodgers touchdowns, didn't you? Yes, I did have Rodgers touchdowns. Sorry, didn't mean to interrupt.
No, it's totally fine. So they are going to ride the hot hand. And right now, make no mistake, the hottest hand in Green Bay is Christian Watson.
He's their only hot hand.
Him and Aaron Jones, that's it.
So I just need one more touchdown from Rodgers tonight, and that one hits. Now, as for who gets it, I have no idea.
Yeah, doesn't matter to you.
Yeah,
for the slip. But
Chig at fullback alert.
Yeah, they slid him out. Looking at block though. Oh yeah. He just took 55 for a ride.
Yeah, it's tough though. I mean, they're just gonna keep slamming Derek up there until he breaks one.
You know who that is?
Who?
That's Enigbare. 55.
That's right. I forgot they got Kiki. Well, he has to play a lot more now because Gary's out for the year.
Right, but Chig just buried Kingsley Enigbare, and if you watched our interview with with Chig from the Shrine Bowl, we talked about what an effective blocker he was and what that journey was for him throughout his college career. That he didn't like it when he started. Like he did it because he had to, but he wasn't very good at it and he didn't like it. And then he started to get good at it and then he liked it more. And then he was like, yeah, let's go. Like I love blocking. And you could see it. Like Kingsley Enagbare was one of my favorite edges coming out from the middle rounds. And he is a powerful player. And Chig buried him on that one. Like he put him in the ground.
Called PI on that? On the slant? I mean, he still caught it anyway, but I was curious.
I'm just curious. Savage is playing nickel, which is really interesting. They had to rotate him down.
Well, he played corner and safety in college, so it's not like it's a new thing for him. And he did cover the slot quite a bit last year as well. So
yeah, they had him as the third guy in dime that would go to slot coverage because, again, like you said, his experience with that. But now he is their nickel back. He's had to slide down.
Yeah.
And there are a lot of people that were really up in arms about that, which I was kind of surprised by. But maybe they've had more experience with him in Green Bay than I have.
Are we getting toss here?
Oh, no.
Nope. We're getting... okay, we're throwing a smoker out to Burks against catch technique? That seems ill-advised. It's one thing if the corner's like 10 yards off, I can see it, but like 5 yards off?
And it's also Rasul Douglas, and that's his happy place.
Yeah, he wants you to throw it at him.
Yeah, Rasul Douglas is really good with contact. He is really good with length and physicality and playing press. Like, that's what Rasul Douglas wants. So that's kind of like throwing, treats to the wolves and getting them closer to camp.
Yeah, I'm not really sure what the read was on that, but I don't think it was correct. All right, so 2nd and 11. This is not where the Titans want to be. They're not good in 2nd and long.
And guess what? Derrick Henry's trying to be Aaron Jones, and it doesn't work. You saw like how halting those cuts were and how much they took his momentum away. He's just not that guy. He's not going to make 3 cuts before he hits the line.
I don't even know if the Titans have anything for 3rd and 10 plus. I legitimately don't know if it's even possible for them to convert this.
I'd be running little either like chip leak seam routes with Chig, something off, right? Something against tendency, because straight up, if they're just trying to line up with the Packers defense, who are still very talented, straight up, I don't think that's going to work very well for them.
Oh, they're coming.
Oh no!
Did they get that? Did he reach? I think they're giving it to him.
Yep. Austin Hooper with a huge play.
Hell of a throw, too.
Gutsy.
See, I'm not sure why they would blitz in that long of a down and distance, unless they really don't believe they can get pressure without having Gary anymore. But if that's like most teams are just going to play coverage in that scenario. They're not going to blitz. So I'm not sure.
They're going to challenge a spot. He was rotating down past the marker when he went down. They're going to challenge that spot. They were trying to get the playoff, but LaFleur's like, I don't think so. I'm not sure you got that. And I'm not sure that he's not right. But that's a matchup thing, right? That was not a great route from Austin Hooper. It was a get it done route. And he was playing against Rudy Ford. Like, if you got Hooper against Rudy Ford, it's a pretty good place to throw it. Ford, waved at it as it came across. He was trying to play a front leverage technique where he was in front, basically where he's trying to deny the catch, period. And I get it. Like, given down and distance makes sense. Austin Hooper's better than Rudy Ford in that position. So there you go.
I'm trying to see like what they even call a lot on 3rd and long. The Packers, that is. And
if they have a tendency. Yeah.
They kind of are spread out all over the place. I mean, they run, quote unquote, a lot of 2-man on a 3rd and 7 plus, but it's like 10%. That's the only thing they have where they're like in the top half of the league in terms of. So they're very spread out in terms of their coverage calls.
Yeah.
I don't have their blitz rates up in front of me, but most good defenses, unless it's situational, like we're trying to get them out of field goal range or something like that, most defenses are not going to blitz on 3rd and 10. They're just going to play coverage and force you to check it down and rally and tackle. But
Yeah, for sure.
Interesting call there, which
Yeah, keep
may or
it
may
in
not
front.
have worked. I don't know, but
Yeah, I would have expected more picket fence
yeah.
from the Packers to just, like you said, basically line up with the heels on the line and rally forward on the catch. Instead, Rudy Ford gambles a little bit, tries to play in front. He got a good press on Hooper off the line, and Hooper just sort of, it's not a technical term, but just mushed the route. He was, he did not go for a tight square on that break. He just sort of leaned to the inside and then was like, I just need to get out and open, and Ford, rolled off the front of him and waved at the ball as it came over, and that was it.
Interestingly enough, just random fun fact: Dolphins and Lions run a fuckload of 0 on 3rd and long.
Yes, they do. They're
like
gonna
a
come
concerning amount of 0 on 3rd and long.
Yeah.
Oh man. All right, we got a rolling here. I don't have the audio on, so.
Yeah, sad Mariners fan says, even if he's short, that's not a good play call by Green Bay. Yeah. Calling the field reversed. He is indeed short.
Well, I don't know. Derrick Henry on 4th and inches. Like it's that's hard to stop.
As long as they don't do that little dance sort of gap power stuff, if they run basically inside zone to whichever side they feel more comfortable with, like, go for it. Like, yeah. That is a load to try and slow down.
Well, I will say one caveat: a little bit tougher to do it without Ben Jones.
A little bit,
but God, 250 pounds going downhill.
Yeah, honestly, I'm gonna run this left.
Or are we?
Even
Wow,
without the
look how close they are. I think they're sneaking.
Oh, they're just trying to pull him. Oh no, direct snap, and he didn't. Oh, he did. Second effort, he got it.
That was fascinating because, like, you saw how close Henry was behind Tannehill. That by itself should have clued the Packers defense in that something was wrong because Henry was like on Tannehill's ass, which you only do that if you know that he can't motion because Tannehill is technically the one in motion by rule. And you notice as the snap was going, Tannehill was walking away from the line of scrimmage because he can't walk forward. That would be a violation of the rule. So he's walking backwards. Henry's already there, quote unquote, in shotgun. The fact that Henry was right on Tannehill's ass immediately should have clued in the Packers defense that something was up. They should have called timeout.
And here's the other thing. This is my second to last note on the Titans from my film work last week. Tennessee likes its trickery. Pretty regular feature of their offense and special teams unit. I mean, last week it was the flea flicker, went for like 60, 70 plus to Westbrook-Akine. This week it's a direct snap with Tannehill feigning ignorance to the sideline. Like, Tennessee, this is not a bug. It's a feature. Like, they do this all the time. They very much like to throw in, and sometimes, again, it's on special teams. It's a fake punt, whatever. But this is not a new thing. This is something I think Vrabel picked up from his time with Belichick, and he does it even more often. Like, he's got the dial cranked up on trickery for sure.
Yeah, that's why I love Titans and Chiefs games, because you never really know what you're going to get between Andy and Vrabel.
Yeah, there's a lot of back and forth there, but I think that's hilarious.
Look at how deep Henry is there.
Yeah,
I was going to say, I was about to say, are we getting a toss? Because he was so fucking deep.
Big momentum.
You can almost kind of tell on this drive what the Titans are doing just based on where Derrick Henry is.
Yeah, what his alignment is so far. It backfires more often than it works. Yes, Will, it probably does, but that's not going to deter them. They're going to keep going at it. This is, again, it's not something that it's not a lark. They're just not trying because it's there. Like, it's part of their game plan. Oh, Angus Barnes. Thank you very much for the
appreciate $3. That.
Yeah, it's very nice.
When we get to the next commercial break, we'll catch up on Super Chats because I know we're still a couple behind on those.
Yes. And by the way, just tastes like Christmas.
I'm trying to get there's a famous whiskey that comes out this time of year called a Midwinter Night's Dram from High West. And I have been trying for years to get one. If anybody knows where to get Midwinter Night's Dram, I am a desperate man. I will do almost anything to get one.
Funny that you should say so.
Did you see one at the store yesterday?
Mm-mm.
EJ, don't play with me.
Not, not directly, but I did ask. So they also have the store he's referring to. Give him another shout out because it's a great place. It's called McAllen and Sons. It's in Tacoma, Washington. It is a high-end whiskey store largely, but they do also have a few other varieties on the end shelves. Fantastic place. Really, really cool. Can't recommend it highly enough. Staff is very knowledgeable, very friendly. Spent basically over an hour with JB and I. We were the only ones in there mid-afternoon, and just a great experience. But they just started a club, actually 2 clubs.
Ooh.
And it's quarterly, and they do it by type. So if you join the American Whiskey Club, it's 1 bottle a quarter that is selected by the owner, and it's just cost of the bottle. You don't pay anything to be in the club. You just have to buy the bottle. He tries to keep it between $60 and $120 per bottle. It's only 4 bottles a year. And they also have other types. They have a Scotch club, and that might just be an American and Scotch at the moment, or maybe I think it's just American and Scotch. But they just started a couple months ago, and he was talking about the 2 selections that they've had for each club yet, and I was like, that's a pretty cool idea. Like, it's not super expensive. It's not like you have to, shell out for a $300 bottle or you're out of the club.
Jared says, Brett, I'll give you an extra bottle if you give me Chubb and Chase.
Oh, Jared, you know your leverage. No, I will ask because I got his card.
Okay.
And if you're ever up here, I have the sneaking suspicion we might end up doing a podcast there because it's a beautiful place.
I would love to.
All the shelves are backlit, and they were awesome. And I know they do events there, so we might end up there.
3rd and 1. What's the call? What are we doing?
Oh, Derrick Henry, run right over your face. No surprise.
Well, if you can get 5 yards out of it, why not?
Nope. It's the Titans. Like I said, the Titans want to step on your face real bad, and they're gonna.
Well, he is built for this type of game.
100%.
Cold, second half of the year, short week, you're banged up. Like, this is the Derrick Henry. Like, if there was ever a game for Derrick Henry, it's this one. Oh, man.
Oh, man. I've been rewatching Letterkenny, which is one of my favorite comedies over the last, 5 to 7 years.
Oh, Ryan.
Well,
you got it out.
And he got it out, and Burks caught it again, which is great. But to me, the Titans sort of like pregame handshake feels a lot like Wayne and Letterkenny.
In what way?
How are you now, Packers? Fine, and you? You know what's coming? Yup. Okay, let's do this. It's just straight up no surprises. Like, guess what we're going to do on 3rd down? I think you're going to try and run it over my face. Yep, we're going to try and run it over your face. You ready? Yep, we're ready. Let's go.
A little bit of a missed hold there on Preston Smith.
Yeah.
Which I'm sure Packers Twitter will love.
Oh. He got it away. Nice play. Good tackling by the Packers as well. Tannehill was lucky to get away. There was a defender just basically sitting there waiting for him.
So they've been living in 12 personnel on this drive. Chig's been in motion for 60% of the plays. I'm kind of wondering if we're setting something up for him. Well, zone insert with Woods, maybe? I think so. Kind of looks like it. Yep. Ooh. And we're just churning and churning and churning. If I can get a Derrick Henry touchdown here, that would make me feel pretty decent about where the slip's at for the night.
For the first half, for sure.
Because then I basically just need another Rodgers touchdown, like a couple big balls to Lazard, a few Aaron Jones carries, and then we can sign off with $500.
Woohoo! But we need Lazard. Lazard's been AWOL so far.
Yeah, they haven't held the ball that much compared to the Titans.
Well, that's not a shocker either. That's part of the Titans. Oh no, that was thrown away.
Yeah.
Henry going to
throw
have
it to the tunnel.
30 carries. Yeah, probably.
Honestly, I should have. So the over/under for Henry carries tonight was 22.5.
Oh, he should have had it.
I felt decent about it, but I wanted the touchdown instead because I felt that was the higher probability. But we'll see.
Yeah, we'll see. We'll see. Tommy, I saw your question about Canadian TV shows. Yes, I like lots of Canadian TV shows. I used to do a fair amount of work in Canada, and I always enjoyed the randomness from my American perspective of Canadian TV shows. There are a bunch of good ones, and a bunch of great Canadian actors as well.
Schitt's Creek is goated, by the way. I don't know if you watch Schitt's Creek. Fucking love it.
Schitt's Creek's amazing.
We got Vrabel F-bombs on TV.
Yeah. Oh, I was like, how is Derrick Henry sitting between two challenge flags? Oh no, those are his gloves.
Does he have red gloves and white undergloves?
I'm not sure.
It kind of okay.
That
or is he trying to switch gloves?
I'm not sure what that is. Anybody who's listening to the audio, because we're not, let us know what they're saying about the gloves, because that was odd.
Yeah. All right, 2nd and 10. Titans have dug themselves out of one long yardage hole on this drive already, but it's hard to do it twice. Let's see what they got here. So he's 9 yards off. We're thinking toss again, maybe?
No, they're doing max protect, but Tannehill, yikes, that ball's gone. No, Tannehill, it's not that when I said earlier that he's playing slow, it's not necessarily that his processing is slow, because against the Broncos, they did a lot of 3 and 5 step, well, really 3-step, lot of 3-step drop stuff for the Titans, where it's just pick a read and throw it, pick a read and throw it. But it's physically, he is slower. He's not moving as well because of the ankle. And then that loop that he's gotten into his throwing motion, it just takes him another half second to get the ball out. So mentally, he's going pretty quickly. But against the Broncos, you could tell it was a concerted effort not to get into 5 and 7-step drops. It was just bang, throw it, bang, throw it. Much more like that. Quick slant inside, take a 3-step drop and get it there.
4th and 1 from inside the 5. I kind of feel like we go here.
Why would you not with 5 minutes left in this half? It's a close game. You're on the road. You've got Derrick Henry. I just don't see any reason not to try and push this. Again, don't make Derrick Henry dance.
Yeah.
Like, pick a side and roll.
Yeah.
And you should be fine.
Whichever side you like the double teams better on.
Exactly. Oh, they called timeout. They didn't like it.
Green Bay called timeout.
Yeah, they didn't like it. they knew they were about to get their face stepped on, and they were like, we don't want that.
Yeah, because again, we're looking at 5 minutes left. If we make them drive 95 yards, so be it.
Yeah.
But if you can get a stop, you'll still have a timeout left and maybe a few minutes to work with.
Maybe a field goal. Who knows? I mean, there are less bad things that can happen here than there are good things that can happen here.
Yeah.
If you go for it.
And you're on the road. Who gives a shit?
That's kind of the thing. You're on the road. You know that you need points against Aaron Rodgers because he's going to find them in the second half. He always does. You're so close. Even if you come up short, like you said, your defense is playing pretty well. Make them go the length of the field on a cold night.
Cold night in Stoke.
Let's see what happens.
Is this a 10-minute drive already? Holy shit. I thought it'd been going for a while. I didn't think it was that long. All right, what do we got? They're pinched.
No, they got him. They stuffed him.
So when the front is pinched like that, that's when I might, I don't know, get out of that call and look for something off tackle or a toss or
I don't
something.
stay in that call with that many bodies in there. I don't even really care about the quality of the bodies. And look, Green Bay has very quality bodies. I'm not trying to say that guys like Kenny Clark are not very quality players. They are. But when there's that much mass right in the middle, if you have a guy like Derrick Henry that is not great at going, oh, I'm going to bounce it outside, I'm going to skirt around and try and push it to the pylon. Like, he's going where he's going. And if your call is middle run, and I mean anywhere between the tackles into that many dudes,
Yeah.
I'm not counting on you to make a clean hole as the Titans line. Your line is good, but it's not like all world.
I don't hate the run call with Henry, but against that particular front, I would call literally any other run.
Yeah, get to the outsides. Do what Green Bay is doing against you and flare a guy out and give him the quick screen and see if he can break a tackle. Do something. But maybe not the thing you did against Rasul Douglas earlier. Like, maybe not that.
Well,
anything but that.
I would feel more comfortable, getting Chig off motion, one-on-one out in the flat.
Chip leak.
Not even, no, that hits too slow. I would want him on the run, on motion, give him the ball in the flat and say, go break one-on-one tackle in space rather than having Henry try to jump over 8 bodies.
But dude, if you have Chig or on Chip leak and you do PA and everybody bites on Henry because they think you're going to do it, he's wide ass open.
Probably.
He is wide ass open.
All right, let's get to a couple super chats here. Pronger5 for $20. Thank you, Pronger. Appreciate you. I just want to say you guys were so right with the offseason review for the Packers, saying the offense would start slow because of the rookie receivers and their development process with Aaron and finding stride mid-season. I'll be honest.
Occasionally,
even I was doubting it a little bit for a little while there that would come true, but sometimes all it takes is one game against the Cowboys to get right, especially for the Packers. And I think we're starting to see them turn a corner here. Now, is it too late for them to save their season and make a playoff run because they're 2 games under 500 in Thanksgiving week? We'll see. I think they're well out of contention for the division at this point. In fact, I think their chances are like less than 1%. But they still could potentially make a run for a 6 or a 7 seed in a relatively thin NFC. So it's not too late yet. But if they lose this game, they're probably kind of fucked.
If they lose this game, they're in trouble because they'll be a good solid 4 games back of the Vikings. They win this game, they're 3 games back. Again, like you said, wild card is really what they're shooting at.
Yeah.
But here comes the Tennessee defense to get that stop you were talking about, to see if they can't force them into a punt, maybe get a drive within field goal range. Titans could still turn this around and come out with 3 points. But,
maybe.
Oh, boy, that is a rough call. Like, Henry's not wild about that call. Ooh, yeah.
Yeah. So, God, Derek. Derek's pissed.
Nah, he's not happy.
But, yeah, Pronger, to answer your question, it seems to be turning true, but still a long way to go. And we'll see if they can actually make the playoffs because of it. Long road, uphill road, but still possible. August for $5. What do you guys think of the turf versus grass debate? Can teams with indoor fields retrofit to grass? Should owners be pressured into spending the money? It depends. Like, there are some stadiums where, like, architecturally, I don't even think it's possible. Like, I don't think it's even possible for Minnesota to put in, like, a tray system type thing that you see in, like, Arizona, because of like where the stadium is. Like, what land are you going to put the tray on? Like, I literally don't even think you can. And you don't want to do the pallet system that Houston used to have, because that was even more dangerous. So, like, there are some stadiums where I don't even think they can. What's the flag for?
The flag was real late. So
for a hold, maybe?
I don't know. I think it might be smacking. Oh, grounding.
Interesting. Well, he was still inside the pocket. As for the turf versus grass debate, I think when every single football player on planet Earth is saying we feel more comfortable on grass, you should listen.
Yep.
Now, I'm hoping to do a video on it over summer once I can get some hard injury data.
Where is he? He's behind the line when he lets that ball go.
Well, I don't know if your whole body has to be or if part of your body being in front of it matters, because that's kind of a weird stipulation.
That was really
I think his
close.
left leg was in front of it, which I think still counts as.
I wonder what the rule book is there. I do not know. I would be
Oh,
if I had
shitty
my
punt.
yeah, terrible punt. If I had my little retired official who was going to be my rules expert, I would ask. I would be
Yeah.
like, "Hey, wait, is it the ball or is it any part of their body ahead or but like what's the ruling here? Because that if that's intentional grounding and whatever is doesn't satisfy the criteria, that's a safety."
Curtis Rogers for $10. Thank you, Curtis. Do you know resources for special teams concepts? I'm currently running stats on speed/weight of special teams players, and if success correlates, success being reduction of yards towards their area of the field. Oh man.
I do not.
Oh man, you might need. Who would have the resources to help with that? Maybe next gen.
I mean, it's the folks from
I would
like
say
Zebra.
yeah, because I think you would need telemetry data to even figure
Yeah.
that out, and I think
You
you'd
need-
have to go through next gen to get it.
Yeah.
But I
Next
don't know if
Gen,
that's public or if
Zebra.
you'd have to like email them to ask if you can have. Oh man, I think you need telemetry, so you'd either need to get it from next gen or get it directly from Zebra, which I think feeds next gen.
Yeah. 100%.
That's a great question though, and also a fascinating concept. If you ever do find out where to get that data and you get
Yeah.
it and you do that type of analysis, please let me know because that's fantastic. And I'm sure there's actually an NFL team that has that already because that seems super valuable.
Yeah.
But I've never seen that done in public, at least.
Mm-mm.
Artist Ford for $2. Thank you, Artist. Really appreciate that. Let's see. There was another one. Lay Alex M7 still here. Let's go, Watson. Oh, so I guess he did start Watson after all. He's feeling good about it.
Yep.
Max for $5. Giant TV so I can watch my Andy Dalton give the Eagles the best pick my Saints have had in like 20 years. Oh, it's a rough year to be a Saints fan. Not just because they're bad, but because they won't even get rewarded for being bad.
Yes.
Oh, it sucks.
That's the piece. Boy, short round says 100% of your body has to be ahead of the line. It was not. It was not even close. His right foot was in the end zone. His throwing arm was in the end zone when he let that ball go.
Theoretically, yeah, that should have been a safety then.
That's a safety. Like, that's a huge swing because the Titans would get the ball back. They'd get 2 points and they'd get the ball back about where they have it now with a free punt in the end zone.
Yeah.
Like,
that's tough.
That's troubling. That
Yeah.
feels very much like we'll have usually it would be Monday off of Sunday, but maybe it's Friday or next Monday, the sort of, mea culpa from the league that says, oh, we screwed that up. Yeah, it should have been a safety. Like, well, thanks.
Well,
What a good it
hopefully,
does me now.
hopefully it doesn't impact this.
There's another flag
score
right there.
here.
Uh-oh, Tannehill going deep, taking a shot.
Yeah, you got a free play.
No.
Might as well.
And I think he might get.
Unless we're getting two with a PI on the back as well.
Yeah, uh-huh.
I don't
I don't
think
know
we're
if they
getting that PI though.
No, I don't think they threw the flag on the PI. They could have. They certainly could have.
Saints fans I can relate.
Hey, here you go. Watch
Signed
this.
a Lakers fan.
He's not out of the end zone.
And neither was the ball.
Yeah, that's a safety. Oh, I get so tired of this stuff.
Says the Bears fan.
Yeah, the Bears fans seen a lot of free plays for the Packers. Yeah, I mean, come on, you could look at the film and say he and the ball are not clearly out of the end zone. Why is that play not reviewable? That should be a safety.
JJ, I used to cover the Lakers. I did Lakers highlights for years over at Time Warner and then Spectrum Sportsnet. So, and that was back before LeBron came. My last year I think was Kobe's last year doing that. So trust me, I've been through some bad Lakers years as well.
Man, Kenny Clark doing Kenny Clark things. They just showed a nice replay. Never underrate that guy. He's up there with Grady for me and those linemen that get forgotten about, but are always making plays.
All right, Tannehill's just deadly on these little outcuts against inside leverage tonight,
That is his throws, apparently, because he's hit a few of them.
especially to his left.
Oh, let's not start that. Can't throw left, can't throw
No,
right.
no, no. It's
I know,
it's
I
legit.
know.
Like some quarterbacks feel comfortable throwing left with their right-handed because they can just kind of open their hip and go.
Yeah, no, he's nailed him. I mean, he's thrown 3 or 4 good ones. That was Woods bailing him out.
Amazon is saying it has to be the ball and body entirely in the end zone. Okay.
Come on, that's clearly not.
Well, his part of his body was out. So if his body was not entirely in the end zone,
Oh, they're saying it has to be entirely in to be a safety?
yes.
Oh, well then, no safety.
Yeah.
All right. The way the rule is stated in chat, which again, it's not like chat's never let us wrong. Yeah, if it was any part of the body being still in the end zone, like that's clearly a safety. If
If
you
it has
can
to be the
say-
whole body in the end zone, then it's
yeah.
So his left foot was just sticking out there.
He cleared it absolutely. So good call by them.
What's up, Autumn? Ohio State game tomorrow,
yeah.
Bengals Sunday, new Pokemon game coming out. I'm fixing to have a pretty great pre-Thanksgiving weekend. That is a pretty damn good pre-Thanksgiving
That's stacking up nicely for you, Autumn. Thanks for spending some time with us on Thursday and pulling yourself away from new Pokemon.
I will say the Saturday after that, or it might be the Saturday even after that, Michigan, Ohio State is going to be a very stressful Saturday for you. So have a good Saturday while you still can, because the one after that, you're going to be tearing your hair out. I think we legitimately could see a number two Ohio State versus number 3 Michigan, or maybe even the other way around for the big game this year, which should be fun.
Yeah, both of those teams are playing well. Michigan has really turned a corner, and there's a great story in The Athletic, I think last week about the number 2 in the Michigan program and in the coaching staff, who has really made a difference, and all the people talking about his role there and how he really is a huge part of that turnaround. And it's fascinating because for a while, Michigan's reputation under Harbaugh was the same, right? They're gonna win the games they're supposed to win. They're not gonna win the tough or tight games. They're not gonna beat the ranked folks that are ranked higher than them. And it's just rinse, lather, repeat, boom, 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 same thing. And that's changed in the last 2 years. And it's because the program's changed, and a lot of people credit him with that change. So very interesting read if you're an Athletic subscriber, which I highly recommend because lots of our friends write and work there and do great work. Check it out. It's a really good article.
Somebody in chat asked, is Jackson Smith-Njigba still wide receiver 1? It's tough to say because he's barely played this year. He had a hammy from the first week, and then he only played a couple more weeks after that, and he's still not back. And then you get, Quentin Johnston from TCU is a monster. There's a couple other kids. I'm trying to remember the name that's popping off this year. There was one I was really excited from Texas that he got hurt before the year, but there's another kid at Texas that's playing really well. Texas just has dudes all over the place. Obviously you got Jordan Addison. Oh, we got a toss to Burks.
Yeah.
A little tap pass.
Yeah. Josh Downs at UNC is one of my guys.
Mm-hmm.
Love him. He could be a guy that could go to the Chargers. He's got gas. He's got wheels. He can stretch a defense. So,
Smith-Njigba is not even the best receiver on his own team.
that was the point I was going to bring up, that if Marvin Harrison Jr. was eligible this year, he would be wide receiver 1, not on his own team, in the draft.
Dude, he might be player 1.
Yeah.
Period.
He might be the top overall pick if he was available this year. I don't think so with guys like Jalen Carter, Will Anderson, and a lot of the good quarterbacks, but he would be wide receiver 1 in this draft without a question. And so Smith-Njigba is amazing, but his health, especially soft tissue stuff, has been really concerning this year, and teams will count that in his evaluation. They will look at last year's Rose Bowl and look at the 300-yard game and look at all the games he took over, even when he was playing with Olave and Garrett Wilson. Like, it's still there. Somebody's going to get a value on him, but he is going to need to maintain health. It's going to push his stock down a little bit, but obviously a wildly talented player. Is he still number one? Probably not, because the NFL is very much what have you done for me lately? And he hasn't done very much at all lately. And so he will fall out of favor, out of the eye, whatever you want to say. Somebody's going to scoop him up. And if he stays healthy, he's going to be a massive steal because he is a very good player.
So coming up on third down for the Titans here. Trying to see, where's my Green Bay coverage stats? Let's see. Third down overall. Where are the Packers? There we go. Let's see. They really love man coverage. They love cover 3. So generally, middle field closed structures. Whether or not they're going to be in 3 or cover 1 kind of depends on down and distance.
Yep.
If it's third and medium or shorter, almost certainly cover 1. If it's third and long, I would imagine cover 3. This is 3rd and 7. Actually, they might be bringing pressure here again.
Nah,
did they not learn from
it.
last time?
Nah, they dropped
Okay.
it, but they didn't rally and tackle fast enough. That's Walker.
If you're gonna play zone, you can't just cover grass. You got to cover bodies.
Nah, that was, unfortunately for Packers fans, that was Quay Walker's coverage.
Yeah, that's been happening a lot this year.
Yeah.
As evidenced by Marcus losing his mind every time.
Yeah,
on the
there's
field.
a little bit of that.
Oh,
but
now we're just playing 10 yards off and giving them yards. It's a minute 20 to go, guys. You got to play a little tighter than that.
yeah. Well, you want to know what the man. 2 notes above the Tennessee trickery thing. Packers will have to play press,
Which
with a
they
big
don't really
exclamation
do.
point. Yeah, but the way that the Titans played against Denver, at least, was those quick shots, 3-step drops, slants, and you have to play press against that. You can't hang back. Like, that's the whole point, is they're going to have the ball off and completed before you cover the gap.
Yeah.
And they don't seem as committed to that tonight. They're definitely taking more PA plays, more
Yeah.
shot plays. They definitely have sort of lengthened their passing game plan in terms of length of time from the snap. But the way that the Titans played against Denver last week, the Packers were going to have to play press to knock that down, because there was no other way. And Tennessee had great success with that versus Denver last week.
So just for context for you, chat, the Packers on third down are 23rd in the league in man coverage, period, at about 23.6%. And of those man coverage snaps, they are 27th in terms of frequency of using press, at like 30% of that 24%. So
I got it.
if you look at the entire holistic picture of all of their defensive snaps, they're almost never in press coverage, because it's like 8% of their total snaps they're in press coverage.
Oh, man.
And so they give free releases all the fucking time, and it pisses me off.
It's funny. Neon Vice says 10 yards off is Joe's press.
It's like it's really the thing I don't like about how they, like, theoretically on paper they don't do anything different in their coverage calls than a lot of other what? Oh, Henry, there we go. I'll take that.
Derrick Henry train. He found space, and all he had to do was shift the battleship's nose to the left and keep going.
Oh man.
And he did. He's
Yeah.
really good at that. Like, as soon as he started to make that curve turn to the left, I was like, nope, there's not enough guys over there. Like, you're not going to win that. It's a mass equation at this point, and you don't have enough mass to stop that. He's going to score. And he did. So, what you talked about was, hey, go for it. Even if you don't get it, get a stop, turn it around. I said they might get a field goal. It turns into a touchdown anyways. Great decision by Tennessee to go for it, even though they didn't make the short 4th and 1 at the Packers goal line. Basically, they hold them. They put a nice little drive together after what is a crappy Packers punt. We can throw that in there as sort of wild card luck, but this is not luck. This is a well-executed drive. Tennessee earned the points, and they go into halftime with, a little bit of momentum. I know everybody says momentum doesn't exist. Like, you score right before halftime, after bringing a stop, like in a tight game on the road, this is good.
Now, Packers did score 6 in the first half, which I know is not ideal. Keep in mind, Titans are 2-1 in time of possession right now, 19:30 to, or about 20 minutes to 10 minutes overall. So it's hard. It's hard to score when you only get the ball for 10 minutes and you have how many possessions? Like 3, maybe.
Yeah.
3, 4.
Not
Like it's tough to
not
score.
a lot.
Max for $5. Marv's catch last week is still one of the best plays I've ever seen. I can't comprehend how it was even physically possible for him to do that. Yeah, his right knee not completely imploding in on itself when he made that catch, I will never understand. Like, that was beyond insane.
Yeah, that was pure magician stuff. Ooh, okay. Is that Cole again?
I think it was 53.
Is he gonna go 3 weeks in a row? Shot of the week it is. That's Dylan Cole. Dylan Cole is our favorite special teams gun right now. He is hammering guys in special teams, and there was another really solid shot. He actually looked like he stayed down a little bit after that, which I'm not wild about. But we'll have to see if he pops up. That was a very good shot.
I'm trying to find Matt Curran in chat said, currently got bootleg on my phone and AirPods and game on my iPad and a second different Bluetooth earbud so the missus can sleep. That is dedication, sir. I respect it. I
respect the ability to manage the technology. We had actually talked about putting the game audio. I had talked about putting the game audio in a Bluetooth headphone underneath my ear can. Yeah, I'm just not that sophisticated. I just watch that, listen to this. Yeah.
Let me see if I make sure I didn't miss any other super chats. I don't know if I did.
Mark, is Ryan Stonehouse the best evaluation in bootleg history? No, but he's close.
He's close. Mark for $5. OSU, Michigan, and the AEW full gear on the same day will be fun, long, interesting, exhausting day. Making time for football and pro wrestling is a trip. I wish that I watched more pro wrestling. I've never had time to.
Oh man,
what?
I'm not holding my head about your wrestling takes. I am holding my head because the Titans decided to vacate the entire middle of the field and just guard the boundary. And
well, yeah, it's like 30 seconds left and no timeouts.
Oh, no timeouts. There we go. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. He's gonna chuck one up. Nah, he's not. All right.
Yeah, they got nothing. They got nothing. It was good. It was a good call. Good call.
Okay. I had not seen the no timeouts, and I have Rogers PTSD, so I was like, "What are you doing?"
I wish that I had more time to watch pro wrestling because I enjoy the pageantry and the energy of it, but it always tends to be on when I'm watching football, so I never get a chance to. But I genuinely enjoy it, and I love like the clips on Twitter and like the crowd pops and everything like that. It's good shit. It's good entertainment.
Yeah, Stonehouse are stout at this point. Right now, Stonehouse just from demonstrated ability, but I wouldn't rule Stout out. Like he's a guy that can play. He was my guy. I could see him playing in the league for a very long time.
Yeah, I think they're both going to be 10-year players.
Ha ha ha! Oh, Thorn, you're killing me. I was gonna go upstairs and get a fresh drink, but you asked a question I cannot turn away from. Oh, Thornbush 11 for $19.99. Thank you very much. The XFL draft was today and yesterday. I'm curious if there's any guys that you were excited about, excluding the bigger names like Martavis Bryant or Vic Beasley, which were two of the guys that I was like, oh, look at that. They're still playing football. Love the pod. Keep up the great work. We will certainly do that. The short answer, yeah, lots of them. Guys we saw at Shrine, Charleston Rambo got drafted yesterday. Guys that we evaluated, guys that were in camp that we were excited about that got cut and now are getting a second chance. I love that there is basically now a developmental league or a couple of developmental leagues. Interestingly enough, all the quarterbacks got drafted right at the top, which would not surprise you, Brett. But Caleb Ellerby from Western Michigan was the
one
choice.
I saw. Yeah.
And then they also like very quickly picked up the kid from UCF at Adrian Killens, the kid that was on.
Oh, I didn't see that.
Yeah, he was their next pick, and I was like, okay, you have my attention, Caleb Ellerby. And Adrian Killens from UCF, who is really small but blazing fast, so he could be a ton of fun in that league. And then I just sort of kept tracking that team's picks. I want to say it was Roughnecks. Might not be Roughnecks. I might be getting that wrong. I just kind of kept tracking their picks down, like who they were assembling on offense, because it was like quarterbacks and then running backs. And they started going wide receivers. Interestingly enough, all the offensive linemen went really, really late. And the game I was playing with myself, because I'm a complete draft nerd, was what is the deepest pick in the XFL draft that you scouted? I think it was 294.
Jesus, you masochist.
It was great. It was a lot of fun. So, yeah, tons of players in there that we met with at Shrine Bowl, that we watched during the pre-draft process, that popped off in preseason with some team and just didn't make the 53 or were injured and released, all those kinds of things that happen early in the season. It was really fun for me, especially, to scroll through that list. And then, yes, you do come across the occasional Martavis Bryant. Like, all right, like
Martavis is the one I'm definitely intrigued by, because like when he was in the NFL, like he demonstrated he could be a more than competent NFL receiver.
Mm-hmm.
So, you know, he's obviously got a few more years on him at this point, but I'm really intrigued to see what happens with him. He hasn't been in the league in 2-3 years, maybe. So
yeah.
we'll see if he's got any gas left.
Yeah, one of the ones that I was really happy to see are less, we'll just call them sexy positions in the NFL, like defensive tackle. And there's a defensive tackle who played at Oregon who both of us really liked. And, you know, he ended up going undrafted and then not sticking. He got drafted in the XFL. And I was like, yeah, all right. There's a lot of good talent in that league. It's going to be fun. They have some great coaches as well. And I think Wade's coaching in the XFL.
Wade, yeah. I think he's coaching the Roughnecks, I think.
Yeah, it's going to be a fun league. And it, you know, quarterback play determines a lot of it, but there are a lot of other fun positions there. I'm not so sure that you're going to see great wide receiver and cornerback play, because those two positions right now are pretty well drained by the NFL, because there are so many of each of those positions on NFL teams that there's not a lot left over. But things like nose tackles, running backs, they're always running backs. I even think quarterbacks, there are some fun quarterback prospects in that league. Offensive linemen, again, there's so many offensive linemen in the NFL and on practice squads that they're not a ton of great ones. Like, I wasn't reading through any of the XFL draft and I was like, oh, I love that guy on offensive line, whereas I did with running backs, with defensive tackles, even with some safeties, but not necessarily corners. So it's a fascinating exercise for me in particular, because I'm a huge draft nerd. Loved it just for entertainment.
So I locked in my second half slip already because I wanted to make sure I got these numbers. So I went over 120.5 yards for Aaron Rodgers second half, because I feel like might have to start throwing here a little bit. If the Titans aren't going to get off the field, I feel like Aaron's going to have to try to get some chunks through the air. So I'm not feeling awesome about it, but if I had to guess over or under on 120.5, I'm going to go over for Rodgers, and then under for Tannehill at 87.5. That one I was also a little bit shaky on because they have been able to kind of dig themselves out of some holes on third and long, specifically with Tannehill throwing the ball. But now that they have a lead, I really do feel like it's going to be a Derrick Henry type second half. And it's literally going to be who wins, Derrick Henry versus Aaron Rodgers. And I think Tannehill might, not that he can't be part of the game plan, but I think that Henry is the game plan. Now they have a lead, is just run down their throat, play defense, and Rodgers going to have to throw to come back. So that's kind of how I feel this game developing here. Tannehill will hit a few throws, but I don't know, 90 yards in the second half? I don't know about that. So that's kind of where I'm at, second half slip. As for first half slip, I need one more touchdown for Rodgers.
Seems reasonable.
I need like 9 more carries for Jones. That is a little less reasonable. I mean, it's a maybe. It's a maybe.
If they get a lead, I think it's real reasonable.
Lazard, I need 47 yards, which is maybe. We need a big ball to Lazard to make that happen. Watson needs 5 more targets or less, which is maybe. Henry already hit, and then Westbrook-Akine has 0. I went over on 21.5 for him. So on the 5-man slip, I'm actually feeling a lot better than I am on the 6-man slip, but we'll see. We'll see.
He has 0 targets or 0 catches?
0 catches.
Okay. All right.
I think he has 1 target, but no yards.
All right. I'm going to run upstairs and grab a fresh beverage since it's halftime. I'll be right back. And then if we have any extra time, I will pull up the XFL draft list because it was super fun. But somebody, short round, talks about Puka Williams, the running back from Kansas. Yeah. He got drafted by the Defenders. He's super fun. He did not make the NFL because of what he could do on the field.
Yes. That's an elegant way of phrasing it. Elegant way of phrasing it.
All set. Tried to avoid stepping in it there. So I'm going to go grab fresh beverage. I'll be back in a minute.
Cool. Octave Chemical Drive for $10. Hello, fellas. Once again, Titans are the definition of next man up. Their pro scouting deserves all the praise as well as Vrabel. Well, Vrabel's a top 5 coach in the league, which helps. And they are, I will say they are pretty good at when somebody goes down. They have players of similar archetypes, so they don't necessarily have to change their whole system to fit whatever the backups are. Like they're pretty good at, hey, if our starting edge guy is like a Danico Autry that's like 280, like God forbid Danico went down, like they still do have other guys that can play that type of like power edge style. Well, unfortunately, Dupree is one of those other guys, and Dupree is also hurt, but you get my point. They tend to stack guys who with similar skill sets, even if they're not necessarily similar frames, but they have similar play styles and similar strengths and similar weaknesses. So they can kind of mix and match if somebody goes down. So I think, next man up is the quicker way to say that, but they have a type and they draft to a type so that if one of their guys of that type gets hurt, they got a million more. So yeah, great front office. Spring roll for $20. Hey guys, love the content. As an Eagles fan, I'm curious to know your thoughts on why the Saints are struggling. As an Eagles fan, I'm happy but confused. Before the season, I really thought they would be closer to 8-9, or 11-6. So why are the Saints struggling? Injuries, for one. They had several games with no Mike Thomas, no Jarvis Landry. Trevor Penning went down. They were really hoping to have him be a big contributor as a rookie. So that was pretty nasty for them. They had some defensive injuries as well. And quarterback. Like, let's be honest, quarterback had, like, Andy Dalton, the primetime game they played, Andy Dalton, like, was the reason they lost. Like, they got a whole bunch of yards. The shitload of yards. But the crucial interceptions were why they lost to Arizona. And, like, they shouldn't have, on paper. They should not have lost that game. But when you literally gift them 14 to 21 points off turnovers, it's pretty hard to win, even against a bad team like Arizona. So, the turnovers have been brutal for them. Quarterback play has not been consistent at all. Injuries, like, any reason you want to give. Like, it's just been a cursed season from hell for that franchise. And unfortunately, unlike Tennessee, they have not been deep enough at certain positions to get through their injuries. And, quarterback has not been good. So it's tough. It's tough. As for what they're going to do, I have no idea because they don't have their first round pick. And it's going to be a very high first round pick. So, they're not going to be able to go get a new quarterback. And they're not going to be able to go get a new wide receiver because I genuinely don't know if Michael Thomas is going to be there next year. I would guess no, but it doesn't sound like he will be. But, they can't replace him with a high draft pick. They don't have a high draft pick. So I don't know what the Saints do at this point. Like, this is a hole that's really tough to dig out of. And I would not wish it on my worst enemy. It kind of feels like they've had a bill that's been about to come due for like 10 years now, and they're finally about to pay it against their will. And that sucks for the fans. It really does, but they might need to just bite the bullet for 2022 and 2023 and just be bad because I don't know any other way out of this. They don't have the resources to be average. JJ for $5. Thank you, JJ. I want to propose this question that me and my dad talked about recently. Will NIL affect QBs entering the draft if they can go the next year higher? So I think it depends because, you've got quarterbacks like Bryce Young making millions of dollars in college. Now he's going to be a high first round pick, but for, let's say, let's see what's one. Let's say CJ Stroud, right? If CJ Stroud, actually, no, he's going to go high too. Hendon Hooker. How about Hendon Hooker? Even though he's a million years old, let's pretend Hendon Hooker was a junior and he was playing like this. And where he's got a lot of fans, a lot of people think he could be a first round pick. Some people are like, yeah, but they're running that kind of like Bryles deep choice route type system where, a lot of quarterbacks that have come out of that type of offense in college where like even among the spread teams, a lot of that stuff isn't necessarily like the same. Like the Bryles type of spread is like so different than a lot of the types of spread that you see in the NFL. The terminology is different. The reads are different. Like there are some teams that will steal those types of deep choice concepts, but nobody majors in it like Tennessee does. And so it's tough to project, okay, can he come in and run all the other stuff that we want to do? Can he come in and run the West Coast shit? Can he come in and run, or the spread coast shit, whatever you want to call it? It's tougher to project. So some, like you look at just the talent, you're like, yeah, he's probably a first round talent, but we're not entirely sure on him. If he was a junior and he had the option of making a gazillion dollars at Tennessee and raising his draft stock for another year and like solidifying himself as a first round pick, yeah, a junior in that type of situation where it's kind of like maybe he's a late one, early day two, they're probably going to stay in college because they can get a shitload of money compared to in the past where their ticket to money was going pro. So I would imagine that for those types of quarterback prospects, yeah, NIL will be a big deal, especially for a team like Tennessee where, yeah, their boosters will pay you $5 million to stay for another year. Now, obviously Hooker has to come out because he's a million years old, but there will be quarterbacks in the future where that is a legitimate discussion. Because, I mean, some of these kids are going to make $5 million a year. Hell, there's high school kids that are going to make $5 million a year pretty soon here. Like, I don't even know if like what Arch Manning's going to get from Texas, but it's going to be a lot. It's going to be a lot. Anthony Richardson. That's a great example. Would Anthony Richardson stay in Florida for another year for NIL? Yeah, maybe. All right, 1st and 10 here. Kind of looks like quarters.
There's your Lazard.
Yeah, well, if we're gonna get a little speed 7 against off coverage, I think that was Fulton as well. We'll take it. All right, So I think he moved the chains there. If not, it's 2nd and very short, in which case the entire playbook is available.
2nd and 1.
2nd and 1. All right. Yeah, you're about 4 seconds ahead of me.
Oh, lucky me.
Yeah. Okay.
And they convert.
Oh, that's a little nifty. Like, you see the ball handling there, where you kind of like turn left, turn left as if you're gonna do a toss, and then turn around and throw the screen the other way, kind of like a little like influence screen. That's fun. I like that.
Yep. Second half choice is Northwest Red Ale. I know you love your red ales from Bowie Brewing in Astoria, Oregon. Good stuff. Fairly local to me. That'll keep me company for the second half. But Rogers has always liked ball fakes, the ability to throw from lower arm angles, off platform stuff. He's been real good at that. There's Aaron Jones, wide toss. Yeah.
Big first down, too.
And guess who's out there blocking for him?
Christian Watson.
Christian Watson.
Well, he's very used to it at North Dakota State.
I was gonna say the North Dakota State alum. He knows what he's doing. Look at him. Look at him keep his frame in front. Stay with that. Yes, his guy eventually makes the tackle, but he made it hard for him.
So to run that from two back in shotgun, where you fake inside zone going one way, and then you got the tight end as if he's going to sift block on the backside of inside zone, and then he releases out, and you pitch off of that. That's nifty. I like that.
You see him dip the shoulder,
and then just
outside,
keep going.
Like I got to get outside this guy because my job is out there.
Yeah, that's super nifty.
Yeah,
that's straight out of like Paul Johnson, Georgia Tech.
Yeah, great design. Yes, Sonny, we believe so.
So JJ, the conversation started because I believe AR should return to Florida because I don't think he goes high, and it's confirmed he's made over $1 million. Yeah, Richardson's I think probably the best example of, if you're already making a lot in college and you think you can raise your draft stock to get to the echelon where you're making $20 million plus on your first NFL contract, you might as well go back to Florida, make another $1 million there, and potentially, get into that draft range. I agree. I think Richardson's a prime case to stay because of that. Now, would I like to see Richardson with Brian Daboll? Yeah. As Zach says, Anthony Richardson plus Brian Daboll would be super fun. But if I was advising Anthony Richardson, I would say, get your money in Florida, try to raise your draft stock, maximize yourself, come out next year.
Yeah, he's got a lot of competition this year. GPG for 10 pounds. I asked earlier in the season if you thought Hackett would get sacked this season, and you said no. Has that changed? Do you still think he makes it through the year? He feels pretty lame duck-ish at this point. I think he probably still makes it through the year. Is he assured of rolling into next year? I think they'll give him a shot with a different quarterback, as bad as that may be. Do I think he's more part of the problem than solution? Yeah, probably. But NFL owners are risk averse and they don't like tossing cash on the ground, even though they've got plenty of it.
Well, especially the Broncos owner has plenty of it. He's got more than anybody else.
Yeah, I mean, they could easily. Let's be honest. They could easily do it. Rodgers down the field. Oh, that would have helped you out.
Is that Lazard?
Oh, it was.
Dick fingers. That's what it is. You get dicks for fingers. Just fucking nothing. Nothing.
I got nothing. That's correct. I got nothing. So GPG, to answer the question, believe he makes it through the season. Am I 100% sure that he makes it out of the offseason as the coach? No. Is it likely? I think it probably is, just because that's the way things go. Could he get fired mid-season next season, which would be if you're going to do it, if things don't improve, it's going to be very hard to maintain, especially for fans and selling tickets, to say, oh, Aaron's still nifty. Ah, Lazard is in the doghouse.
All right. He's just throwing to Watson the rest of the night.
Lazard is literally, he's going to be looking at Lazard. And this is bad for Lazard, too. Obviously, it's bad for the Packers, bad for Rodgers, bad for this game. Lazard's a free agent in a weak wide receiver class.
Mm-hmm.
And he might actually be one of the best. He is wide ass open here. You could say that he had a contested catch. That ball, it's a little behind him, but come on. You're a professional wide receiver. You got to catch that ball. And again, catch technique is one of the things that I didn't like about Lazard coming out.
This instead of like this.
Catch technique in the end zone was like this. Didn't make the triangle. Didn't put a fence up to catch it. Tried to slap it, clap it. Didn't get it. And then on that last one, went underneath and tried to cradle it. That is not proper receiving technique, and it's cost Lazard 2 big completions here.
Well, at least he converted on 3rd and 10.
Yeah, I mean, he went back to him, but. Look at that ball. It almost hits him in the face mask.
It really did. Oh, man.
So you got to get your hands up, make that triangle. Like, get your hands up in front of the ball and have them facing the quarterback, not side to side, so the ball can slip through them. All right. That's a play they ran at North Dakota
I
State
was gonna
a
say we
lot.
saw him do that a
Yeah.
lot in college.
Yeah,
Is
that is a North Dakota
give
State play
Watson
where
the
they were
jet
like,
sweeps.
"Yep, give Watson a jet sweep, get him comfortable, get him touches." Like that is a play that he knows well from his Bison time. Um, but Lazard, that's a rough stretch. I mean, I'm glad Aaron went back to him because he doesn't have a ton of choices. But the touchdown, look, I get it. The first down where he was wide open in the middle of the field, Aaron Jones trying to do.
Oh, he's got nothing.
Yeah, he's trying to do superhero things there. So there's one more super chat after GPG. Oh, Anthony Richardson plus Brian Dable. I'd love it. I think they'll have better options. But it would, if I was picking a destination, Dable would be high for a guy like Richardson who has a huge frame, a lot of tools. Like, sound familiar? Josh Allen?
Yeah.
He is. I'm not saying Richardson is Josh Allen. I'm saying, if you're going to take a guy who could use some refinement, who has plenty of physical tools like Richardson, like Dable would be one of my top choices for sure. Texas Dragon for $9.99. Hey, y'all. Much love for every bit of work you do. Thank you very much. I'm curious, what do y'all think is the coach? What do y'all think is the coach firing in NFL history? Mine's Marty Schottenheimer.
Maybe worse.
I think it's worse. I think
Yeah.
we missed the word worse. That would make sense. Mine's Marty Schottenheimer. It explains the Chargers' struggles. Cursed. Could be. We talked about the Chargers' struggles this week on the pod. We labeled it chargering. There are some bad ones. There are some coach firings in NFL history where the rug either got pulled too early or just for the wrong reason. Unfortunately, a lot of those firings, truth be told, are aimed at African American head coaches. They do not, by statistic, get as long a leash to fail, and they also have a much harder time getting a second shot in the big chair.
I have an answer.
Oh, what's yours?
If we're counting assistants,
Oh,
Texans firing Wade Phillips at DC.
yeah.
100% defense took a fucking nosedive after that.
Yep.
And then Wade went on to win a Super Bowl with Denver and then went to the Rams and was excellent with the Rams. Wade's honestly gotten fired like 3 times in a row too early. And every single team has regretted it pretty much. So I'm going to go with Wade multiple times.
Who's
Aaron Jones whiffed his block.
Yeah, but you better tell me that he's actually injured. He's holding like kind of where his hamstring.
Yeah, he's holding his hammy.
You better tell me he's injured or Aaron's going to kill him, because this is a terrible attempt at a running back pickup. Whoop. Oh, now I'm going to grab my hamstring because otherwise I almost got my quarterback killed. And Weaver's in there again.
Dude, Aaron looks like he's about to fucking kill somebody.
Long came barreling in, and Aaron Jones just whiffed it. That he got nothing, and he is a better blocker than that. That is not teach tape for all you running back coaches out there on how to do a blitz pickup.
Somebody got hurt for the Titans. I didn't see who it was, but whoever it was grabbing their pec of their shoulder.
It was 90 somebody, and if maybe chat can give us a number. One of my worst firings, just to finish off the super chat. Want to honor that one. It's funny because I both got it and didn't get it. The Lovie Smith firing right after he went on a 10-win season. Because they didn't do great after it, and I really felt like it was a ceiling firing, not a floor firing.
Oh no, it's Danico Autry.
Oh, 96?
Oh fuck, that's worst case scenario.
They don't. I mean, nobody needs that. Let's be honest, but Danico's been playing super well for them.
4th highest in pressures in the league. He's been a fucking animal for them.
Oh, I didn't read this one off. We need to do like a keys to the game thing so I can get some more of these out pre-game, because now it just sounds like I'm going, oh yeah, I knew this before the game. Defensive line is amazing. Team leads, this is the Titans, team leads the NFL in pressures by a defense at 214.
We're in
the
week
most
11.
the most in the league.
Yeah.
Yeah, so their defensive line, obviously, which Denico Autry is a big part of, has been amazing. They, again, have been able to get pressure with four. Teair Tart has been a revelation. Last weekend, DeMarcus Walker showed out against his previous team. Naquan Jones got in and got a sack.
Weaver.
Jeffrey Simmons is amazing. Weaver's been coming on, who is a guy that you were a little bit higher on than I was, but a lot of analysts were like, he's going to need to go to a place where he can develop. Again, he has developed. Like, he is playing better than he did when he came out of Pitt. But they really need Autry not. Oh.
All right, let's see what it was.
It looks like he
ankle
kind of got rolled up on with one ankle down. He's a little ginger. He is walking off, which is good. But that's 93. That's Teair Tart, wasn't it? Nope.
Is it
nope.
two that got hurt?
Nah.
Well, they're showing Autry on camera.
Yeah, it's Autry.
Okay.
So great defensive line for the Titans, but attritional. Jeffrey Simmons has missed a few games. If Denico Autry misses a game or two, like, all of a sudden you take a couple firecrackers out of that mix, and it's not the same. But it has been an underrated. I mean, if you asked, which defensive line leads the NFL in pressures, I don't think most people would say Titans, and they are leading by a clear margin. Like, it is them, period.
The hard part is now they're on like edge 4 because Harold Landry's out, Bud's hurt. If Denico's on the bench, he's not in the tent, so that's good. But now we're hoping. God, Mario Edwards would probably, in terms of a general comp for his skill set, I would say it's Mario Edwards. So I guess Edwards and DeMarcus Walker are the next up for edge duo, which is still, like, you can get by with that, but it's definitely not the same as Bud Dupree and Denico Autry out there.
No. And the thing I love about Tennessee is they're not necessarily doing it with names, which is the way they have done it always. If you look at that lineup and you go, okay, Denico Autry, Jeffrey Simmons obviously is hugely underrated, but also a complete game wrecker. Teair Tart, no, nobody's saying Teair Tart, although he has played very, very well this year. And then Mario Edwards, who is a cast-off that they picked up in free agency. I don't think anybody looks at those four and goes, oh yeah, that's the leading four in the league. There are certainly much bigger name quartets for defensive lines in the NFL, but the Titans are the ones that are getting it done.
DeMarcus Walker will sub for him based on last week. That makes sense because DeMarcus Walker is, I think he's also about 280 actually now, because Denico is like 280, 285. So I guess that makes sense in terms of, remember we just talked about where they're one of these teams where they have a type and they draft to that type.
That was gross.
Yeah, I think so.
Dontrell Hilliard head-to-head for the flag.
So DeMarcus Walker, again, being of that same general type of Denico Autry, even though it's not the same as Denico Autry, that would make sense.
Yeah, Matt Curran says, did I miss the Eno Benjamin segment? No, we have not publicly mourned Eno Benjamin yet. We will at some point, but we have not yet.
Did he get picked up?
I think so, but I'm not sure.
I imagine he did, but...
Yeah, if not, he would have gotten drafted in the XFL.
Yeah.
No, he should be playing in the NFL, and on some teams, he should be starting in the NFL. And strangely enough, one of those teams is the Cardinals, but,
Yeah. Well, apparently the reason he got cut is because the team in the team hotel on Saturday before the game told him that with Connor back, his role was going to get like really reduced. And he's like, what the fuck? I've been fine. I've been good. Like, at least do a 50-50 or something like that. And they said, no, it's all going to go to Connor. So
he's a Texan.
Oh God. Him and Dameon Pierce together. Hello.
Yeah, I read that at some point, and I thought Brett will really care about this, and then I stashed it away. So thank you, chat. Appreciate that.
That's awesome.
I really hope that he would become a Bear because we've talked about this openly that we think David Montgomery will probably move on, not because he's not a good player, but because he can get more. Ooh.
Chig?
Yes.
Did he hold on to it? I think he did.
He did. He did. That is a catch. That is Chig Okonkwo, one of our favorite players in last year's draft. What a great ball. Like, oh, man.
What a catch, too.
I love that guy. He's just so good. And we told everybody, we didn't squirrel that one away and say we'll be right later. We told everybody from the moment we got a chance to sit down with them, you got to draft this kid. Like, he's a multi-purpose player. He's going to help you in the blocking game, which is going to help your run game. He's a pass-catching threat. And this was before he went to the combine and lit it up. We knew that he was going to be really good and undervalued and just a great guy. Head to the Bootleg Football Clips channel. Check out our interview with him. There's no way you can watch that and not like him. Not if you have a pulse.
Chig Okonkwo over its money every week.
Oh, look out. Look out.
Henry. Oh, Henry's on a roll.
He's loose. The moose is loose.
A lot of people just hit their Derrick Henry over 11.5 receiving.
Yeah.
There we go.
Sure. That is that's an easy way to get it. Get it to him in space, right? You wouldn't think of Henry as the sort of prototypical space player. Those are your Alvin Kamara's, your Dalvin Cooks. But boy, once he gets rolling, look out.
Do you remember the play when we did the Falcon stream where I said, "Oh, they're going to do a bootleg throwback screen because the Titans used to call that all the time with Derrick Henry with Arthur Smith was there." That's the fucking play.
Hey, Tannehill just hit your little flare to the right.
Yeah, there you go.
Been hitting to the left. He hit it to the right. That's the second one he's hit to Robert Woods tonight. So Robert Woods has been reduced to the flare catch role player, but at least he's catching it. This is a really good drive out of the Titans.
Yeah, honestly, it's been an entertaining game. Back and forth.
Had some explosives here, which, again, the Titans offense isn't necessarily known for, especially since, they got rid of some big play receiver that's doing something now these days.
Yeah, something. We'll go with that.
Yeah.
All right. What do I need here? Well, I already hit my Henry over, so honestly, let's just finish it off with a Chig touchdown. How about that? Oh, wrong tight end. That was the wrong tight end.
Chig does all the work. And again, I'm going to go back to my pregame notes, which I'm going to read pregame next time. Tennessee likes its trickery, pretty regular feature of their offense and special teams units. That's the second what you can call trick play. Fake handoff, pop pass from the halfback. Come on, that's a trick play. And I told you, it is a feature, not a bug. They're not going to give up on it. And they score a touchdown on it there. So to the person in chat who said, yeah, it fails more than it works. Well, speaking of failing more than it works.
Kicking
game tonight. I know it's windy. I know it's cold. And I played a ton of soccer growing up, and we used to go out and kick field goals for the fun of it. And kicking a cold football when it's really cold, below freezing,
it's a brick.
It's no fun. You can press it and try and warm it. You're just slamming your foot into a rock, and it's not fun. And you add wind to that, tough night for kickers. But obviously the results have reflected tough night for kickers.
Why are people saying RIP Twitter?
Twitter has been there are many Twitter employees who in the last half a day or so have said that the likelihood that Twitter breaks because of all the firings of engineers is coming to a head. All the things that need to be maintained to ensure that Twitter continues to function, we're getting to a critical mass of things, and it is likely that Twitter is going to stop working.
So all the people that I use Twitter to communicate with in the media, I should probably give them my phone number. Because I communicate with
Oh, I understand. Trust me.
A lot of people in media and in the NFL world on Twitter.
I 100% agree, and we dealt with this
That,
actually.
that would be pretty bad for
Full,
me.
yeah, full disclosure. Brett and I dealt with this pre-Thursday night stream last week. We usually DM each other. I'll DM him the links to start the stream, and he was like, "Haven't you sent them?" And I was like, "I did. They're right here. I see them. Do you not see them?" And he was like, "I don't see them." And we're both refreshing, and Twitter was already starting to hiccup last week. So I would not be surprised at some point if it does stop working. I would, however, be super duper duper bummed.
Yeah, I feel like I need to take my Rolodex off of this dumbass website because I'm over leveraged on using Twitter for communication is what I've suddenly realized.
Yes, you are. It's true. Luckily, I have other ways to contact you, but I know a lot of other people don't.
Yeah, that's okay. That's my project tonight. Whoops. Well, you never think that Twitter is gonna die, of all things,
and it shouldn't, quite frankly. But yeah, that's not what we're here to talk about.
Like, how would I talk to Lori without Twitter? Like,
no, and my realization a week ago was like literally everybody that I have met, even all the people like you that I met physically after we talked on Twitter, I met on Twitter. Like everybody from Joe Marino to Matt Waltman to Matt Harmon.
That's another Matt. How would I talk to Matt without Twitter?
No, Danny Kelly, who's a bootleg OG. Shout out to Danny. Everybody that I know in this space outside of a very few of you that I've met physically. I mean, JB and I have interacted physically. Well, I think we said last night was actually the first time that we've done Bears Over Beers together with video. We did it once before at Bears training camp, but we weren't doing video at that time, so it was audio only. This is a very virtual space. We all connect virtually. And all the people I've been connected to, Alex Katzen, who I was hanging out with on Sunday, like those are all people that I connected with virtually before I connected with them physically. And it was all through Twitter.
I'm going to tweet out a link to my Discord right now just in case.
Oh, God. I would stop talking to you. If that was my only hope.
Well, we have phones, but for everybody else.
I literally would stop talking to you if you're like, here's my Discord. I was like, no, I don't care that much. Have fun.
Old man yells at cloud.
Yes, old man yells at Discord specifically. Oh. Somebody said laughing my ass off. Oh, Aaron Rodgers doing Aaron Rodgers things. Somebody said laughing my ass off. It's amazing how this return guy is instantly way better than Amari Rodgers. It's kind of not. The two of us were talking about Amari Rodgers as he got released this week, and Amari Rodgers was one of those guys coming out that many analysts were convinced, yeah, he's going to be plug and play. I thought that he would be fine, and that is the classic use of fine, like okay, but not great. And he wasn't even fine. Like he was below fine.
He was a detriment.
Yeah, he never popped positively for the Packers. Had a bunch of drops, and then he 5 muffed punts, I think, which is not what I predicted. Let's be honest. I predicted that he would indeed be fine, that he would be a good sort of mid-level receiver, but I knew he was going to be overdrafted because he had the name recognition, and he was just one of those guys that people kept talking about in sort of glowing tones like he was going to go off, and I never sort of bought into that. I thought, it's like a third, fourth round, top of the fourth round wide receiver that'll be fine, and he wasn't even that good. So, I wouldn't call it a miss. It's more of a hit, staying away from saying, "Oh, Amari Rodgers is a first round talent," which there were many people out there saying, and it's a bummer. We like to see players maximize their talent. We like to see players go off.
We're running that screen again. To Jones out of quads.
Unfortunately, we're running that screen, and the Titans have shown all throughout the first half, we got it. Like, we got that locked down. Like, don't try it again. You haven't gotten anything. It hasn't been close, particularly. But for some reason, I don't know. It's kind of like when you keep pounding the run and it's not working and you're setting something else up. I don't know what they're going to be setting up off a screen.
A pump and go.
Yeah, but
Eventually.
to this off a screen.
Oh
Oh,
yeah, all the time.
there you go.
There's my Lazard over, I think. Right?
Yeah,
Probably. Hold on.
that's a big catch by Lazard. I expected a few of those, and by a few I mean 3 tonight, and he's had a chance for more than that. I'm surprised he got that against Roger McCreary.
It was a
And
tough son of a
McCreary,
bitch.
yeah, McCreary. Oh no! What a terrible ball. Why was Watson moving?
Well, Watson was kind of flaring out, almost like running a
Yeah.
bubble, but without a blocker. And I can't tell if Rogers thought he was just gonna run a smoke or what.
Yeah, he was moving his hips away from that ball, and the ball was thrown down and inside, which that's some miscommunication. I would put that certainly, given their seniority, more on Watson than on Rogers. Rogers doesn't typically miss those. I think he thought something different than Christian Watson did there.
To wrap up,
Oh, look at that!
you're so far ahead of me. There we go. Another one to Watson. All right, let's go.
I love that play design. Like, it's not so much that the Packers scored or that it was to Watson or from Roger. I love the play design. This is gutsy play calling.
Play action
on the
off
goal
orbit
line.
motion.
Yeah, but watch the 2 fakes. First, second. Oh, that takes a long time, and it's gorgeous. And it's one of those times that the secondary has those gaps I talked about, like that. They're not particularly close.
Well, so
And
the problem is they were in a middle field closed structure, and Spear, which is two overlapping crossing routes.
overlapping.
Spear is literally designed so that there is no way to be correct if you're in a
Right.
middle field closed structure. There is no way to be correct. And so because of the double play fake where you're faking the run one way, then you're faking the orbit screen, it freezes everybody else and it allows time, so much time that the safety has to choose, and whoever the safety doesn't choose is going to be one-on-one or against zone wide ass open. So I wouldn't even say that's the fault of the secondary. That's just a great fucking call against a middle field closed structure.
Somebody says EJ's a closet Packers fan ? I'm not a closet Packers fan. I am an open fan of good football, and the Packers play a lot of it. Like Aaron Rodgers is an extremely good football player, and that is a really cool play design and a very gutsy play call in condensed space. What you hear about the red zone is everything happens fast. It happens faster. You got to be quick. And the Packers kind of set that on its ear and go, no, this play takes a legit 5 seconds to materialize. But if it materializes, like Brett said, there's no good answer. One of these guys is going to be open. And who do you count on in the NFL right now more than Aaron Rodgers to find the guy that's open? If there's a guy open, which was the problem with the Packers receiving core up till now, is they just weren't getting open. Like, that's just a cool play executed at a high level. Packers or not, fun football to watch.
Packers, Houston Paul in the chat says Packers running a college offense tonight. Honestly, the only thing that's college-y is the screens out of quads, because you see a lot of offense go into quads to the field because the hashes are wider in college. So they got more space to work with for those screens. And then, as we alluded to earlier, they'll pump the screen and they'll fake the stock block and then release somebody and they'll throw a touchdown off of it. Oregon used to do that shit all the time with Herbert when he was there. And it's like a way to like manufacture deep shots if you don't believe in yourself to actually throw a deep shot. So that's like the only college-y thing here is like screens out of quads. Other than that, this is pretty standard West Coast stuff. Like Spear, like Shanahan ran Spear in the 90s with Denver, and it was easy for them. Honestly, that play right there, other than the orbit motion, like Buffalo made their living off that the last few years. Like that's their favorite pass concept. So, yeah, it's a normal thing.
Oh, did we get to Icelandic Fart Police's super chat
no,
for $10?
we did not.
Okay.
Let me get to it.
Hey guys, the Pack ran a few triple options earlier. I'm curious if you have an affinity for the play and your favorite way to run it. Split gun, wishbone, wingbacks, etc. Played wishbone in high school. Now, if we want to talk about fun college offenses, ICP just led us into that, or IFP, Icelandic Fart Police, not Insane Clown Posse. My bad. But although the crossover album would be killer, boy, I like T formation stuff. I'm a sucker for going way back, Clark Shaughnessy, and there are so many fun options. Georgia Tech is just fun because they, in the past, running triple back options, they are extremely hard to prepare for and a lot of fun to watch. There's a lot of cool variations out of those offenses where you can sort of strip the pieces out and use, like you said, base motion. That's the bones of that play that they just scored a touchdown on were around with, Shanahan Sr. Right?
Yeah, easily.
And it's just a different arrangement or alignment, but there's some really fun ones when you have so I'm going to date myself and happily so Dr. Z, Paul Zimmerman, used to write for Sports Illustrated.
Dr. Z.
One of my all-time favorite football minds, writers. If you don't know who he is, look him up. All-time classic. He had a fever dream of basically running Michael Vick as a wingback and a wing T.
Excuse me?
Yeah.
I mean, first of all, it would work, but excuse me?
It would be
destructive.
Ridiculous with his arm. He woke up one night and had a vision and was like, oh my God, this is what they need to do with Michael Vick. And he was right. And it's because when you take, you take an offensive structure that people aren't familiar with, which is what Georgia Tech does, which is what Navy did for a long time. And you package it, and Belichick has a huge history in this tree because his dad coached at Navy and he coached the Coast Guard and all that. So you take an unfamiliar structure and you start mixing and matching personnel and components. You can do some wildly fun stuff. It is so cool to watch those offenses executed well. And a lot of times you'll see them in strange places like 9-man football or 8-man football.
Like middle of Iowa, 8-on-8,
Eastern Montana, it's just you find some really creative stuff that eventually sort of trickles up. And that's the fallacy, is that concepts from the NFL trickle down to college and college concepts trickle down to high school. And I just saw a tweet to the opposite effect this week that said, no, innovation comes from this huge pool in high school and having to make do with what you have. And trickles up to college and then now trickles up to the league. That's the development path of plays, not the other way around.
So I did an episode 2 summers ago on the history of the single back spread, or the single back shotgun spread offense that Urban Meyer won all his championships with Tebow and pretty much all the different branches of the spread offense and where it came from. Where it started was high school football in Los Angeles in the 70s with John Elway, when he and his dad moved down from the Bay Area, and his dad got a job at Cal State Northridge. And so they literally invented a new offense for John Elway at, I'm trying to remember, it's whatever high school Bucky Brooks coaches at right now. The name escapes me. I apologize. But literally Los Angeles high school football invented the fucking spread. And then it moved up when John Elway's dad then went to coach at Stanford, brought it with him. Oh God, now I'm struggling to remember the actual story. I got to go back.
All right,
I got to go back and watch my own video on it.
It is some of your finest work, I will say that. That episode in particular, you and I talked about multiple times before you put it out, because it was well, I started here. And it was EJ, I have to postpone it. It got bigger. And EJ, I have to postpone it. I went farther back. And EJ, you're not going to believe who's hooked into this web. And pretty soon it was the whiteboard with all the yarn and the string all over it. And it was great. But we have a much more important matter to deal with right now.
The Titans are in 2nd and 7.
That's not it. But that's a great ball by Tannehill.
What's the other important matter?
We have a super chat asking if you can draw a crocodile again.
Oh, of course.
Of course.
Need you say more?
Need you say more? I've been practicing my crocodiles. Granada Hills Charter High School.
There we go. Granada Hills. Yeah, it's where
Thank you,
Bucky
Chad.
coaches now.
Chat's the best. Just a shout out, golf clap to chat. Golf clap to chat. Except the chat that tries to trip us up during the draft by saying our favorite players have been drafted either by our least favorite teams or our most favorite teams.
Bo Melton, 1st-round pick. Never forget.
I will forget next year at the draft, and so will you.
That tail is extremely long, but go with it.
I'm going with it. Animal Planet with Brett Coleman. I don't know that I would follow him into those situations, but
That is an obscenely long tail and a very fat crocodile, but it's okay.
oh, Brett and EJ, Blue Bombers or Argos? Great question.
Argos.
Oh, Bombers. Sorry.
Fuck you.
Okay. I'll take it. I mean, honestly, if you want to go gross, like Stampeders, Lions, used to be Eskimos, but is now Elks, which I think is an elite logo. I love the Edmonton Elks logo. Yeah, I love me some Canadian football.
But
Like,
you grew up in Western New York. How are you not a Toronto fan?
There's a lot of fans. There's a lot of people who grew up in Western New York that are not Toronto fans, and I'm not talking about sports.
Just in general.
I love the city. I love the city. It's a fun city, but I actually was watching hockey, another shared love of ours, this week, and it was in Ottawa. And man, I miss being in Ottawa. I really like Ottawa. Ottawa's a really cool place.
I haven't been there since I was a kid.
Yeah, Ottawa's
long
great.
time ago.
One of my favorite things about Ottawa, look it up, is the Rideau Canal. And
Yeet for $2 says, I don't want to switch to Discord, damn it. Well, I mean, I don't think Elon's going to give us a choice, but
yeah, we'll see.
we'll see. Hey, good luck hiring new engineers.
Yeah.
Point and laugh at Brett's grammar mistake on Twitter. They happen a lot.
Yeah, I was
They
gonna
happen a
say.
lot.
I mean, honestly, if we're talking about typos on Twitter, like I got content for days there.
Ian Wells, y'all watching the game? We are. We got distracted by apparently Twitter breaking down and then me having to draw a crocodile, but we are. I promise.
We have a great game going on. That's the thing here. Is this is not one of those blowouts. This is somewhat like we thought it was going to be. I said second half adjustments are going to come into play. We got a 3-point game in the second half. This is for real.
And we spent a significant amount of time talking about the addition of Christian, or the rise of Christian Watson and what it means. And what we said was when they absolutely 100% need a play, it seems like he's going to be the one they go to. And that's proven to be correct so far.
Best chats are the chats that peer pressure Brett into taking a shot of absinthe. Best for some value, yes. It was a classic moment. And that Bo Melton moment was an all-timer. Yes, Max, thank you for the $3 as well. It was an all-timer. I hated it. Don't do it again. But yes, it was an all-timer. Put the turtle back as well. Gator needs a friend. So now we have a super chat from Riley for $2 for a turtle. So I think this is way better than the channels that like take a shot of hot sauce for every super chat, because that
do not
give
give them ideas.
No, that's got to get old. I'm not doing it. Like, I still have control.
How do I draw? How do I do a turtle?
I think you should just do the shell and say he pulled all the appendages in.
Ah, that counts.
That does count. Oh. Absinthe, the choice of one-eared painters and Brett Deep Dive Coleman.
Honestly,
Go ahead.
If he liked absinthe so much, that actually makes a lot of sense why he was so freaking zooted all the time.
Yeah, no. There's a great channel on YouTube called the Try Channel, and it's a bunch of Oh, did he get it? What? Wait, I'm not sure if that's a touchdown, an incompletion, and an interception.
That is
Now
a
they're calling it off.
horrible turtle shell. Hold on.
Watch,
I didn't see the
watch
play.
this play. This is important. Like, this ball is on the money, but Hooper does. I mean, he's got two defenders on either side. It's going to be a tough catch either way. But like the end of the play, I need to see. Okay, it's in his hands. He flips over, and then it ends up. Okay, ball. I'm not sure that's a touchdown.
That's well. At what point do we just consider the play dead?
I think that's a touchdown.
Because I can't remember what the actual process rules are in the end zone. Now, if that was if that was in between the end zones going out of bounds, I don't know if they would consider that completing the process.
Oh,
catch.
he's dropping the flag.
But once you're in the end zone, I feel like that might. I think the process rules are a little bit more lenient there. Since the Calvin rule.
Oh, Vrabel's saying thank you very much. That's called. They're calling a touchdown. Yeah, Vrabel's saying thank you very much for making sure I didn't have to throw my challenge flag there because he said, look, it's an automatic review. It's a scoring play.
Okay.
Like, I think this is a touchdown. He has control. He goes to the ground. His elbow hits, his hip hits. Like, he's good, and then it gets popped out. That's a touch.
I feel that's a touchdown. If I was going to go one way or the other, I'd feel that's a touchdown.
That is a dot by Tannehill. Like, that is an absolute dime between two defenders to Hooper. That is a great play. Like, we got a game. The Titans are stretching the Packers to the limit in their house. Got a full quarter of football. They're up by 10 because they, hold your breath, chat, they made the kick. Like 27-17. Look at this throw from Tannehill. They're going to show the replay again. Tannehill knows he keeps the safety out of it by keeping his head to the left, and then, wow, there is a really small window there, and he drills this ball. Yeah. That ball is on a line.
Sleeping turtle. Yeah, that was a great ball. Seam ripper.
Indeed. Like, look at Tannehill. He's popping. He's like, I'm
Sonny
back,
says,
baby.
Bro, our defense absolutely stinks. Well, your defense is also incredibly banged up, but even when they were healthy, they kind of sucked also. So, yes. Unfortunately, yes. Which is interesting because, like, last year they were so good, and this year they've kind of been ass with mostly the same players.
Oh, my God.
So it's just interesting to me.
No, I love it. I was just going to say that statement like applies to so many chapters of my life. Like, come on, EJ, last year you're good. This year you're ass. Like, man, it's happened for sure multiple times. But I don't know. For a Thursday night game, I'm into this. Like, quarter to go, Titans on the road, up by 10, Packers playing well, Titans playing better. Like, this is just a good football game. This is a lot of fun.
10-point deficit in 15 minutes is not completely out of the picture. Now, if this was pre-Watson emergence, I would say they're done. But with Watson on the field.
Yeah, it's a lot more fun now. Like, and that's what we said about the whole game, is that, like, this game is now fun because of the Watson emergence and the balance it brings to the Green Bay offense. Oh, same play. They can give him the flag. He rode him down. Christian Fulton. Maybe they're calling that uncatchable.
So it was interesting. Instead of releasing Jones out and releasing the tight end out to block for him, they just ran a play action off of it and kept the tight end in. So he faked the SIF block and then pass pro off of it.
Oh, I have issues with the way Watson ran that route. And that is it's a pretty weak head turn by Christian Fulton. to get the arm lock because he did make contact before the ball got there, but he kind of got his head around.
I don't know if I would have thrown a flag on it. Like, I can see the argument for it, but it's like if you're gonna
Yeah.
flag that, you gotta flag everything, you know?
Yeah. No, he did make a nod and get his head back. What I take issue with Watson's route on is he let up in the middle of that route. He didn't keep the gas on. If you watch, he starts sort of striding instead of driving. And if he'd kept driving, he would have had a much more sort of prominent place to go after that ball with power and make it a DPI call. Like, you're going to have to drag him down. And he'll learn that. It's a very subtle difference, but he kind of let up for a couple steps in the middle of that route, and it made it so Fulton was hip to hip and had every right to that ball and could get away with something like that without getting a flag.
Ooh, you got Jones. You got Jones. Okay, well, he no longer had Jones.
No.
If he hit it quick, Aaron would have had like 10 yards of space to make something happen with it.
And he's looking at his thumb when he comes up, so keep that in mind. It's a cold night. You might have cracked it on something.
Yeah, Toradol's wearing off.
Let's hope not. Oh, that's miscommunication with Tunyon.
Yeah, I'm not 100% sure what he expected from him there.
Neither am I.
There must have been some kind of read where they were looking at different stuff. I don't know. That's the thing, is like, without being in the room, it's tough to tell. I don't think he. Oh God! Big hit
God!
From Quay Walker.
No, he picks that ball up off the bounce, and I'm like, cool, neat play, bro. Whack! Takes a Quay Walker right in the face. Ay.
Diego for $5. Favorite throwback uniforms? As disgustingly awful as my Raiders are, I can still enjoy their AFL silver and white away uniforms. A, true. B, in terms of favorite throwback uniforms, the Dolphins ones are clean. The Falcons throwbacks are awesome. God, who else?
They're coming next year. They're coming next year.
Who?
Hawks.
Oh, yeah. I forgot they're doing
Hawks,
those.
royal blue and silver with the silver helmets. Like, get out of here. Like, those are awesome. I know everybody loves the creamsicles for the Bucks, and those two are coming next year. I was never a huge fan of the creamsicles when they were around. I understand their nostalgia because they've been gone, but those uniforms got laughed at a lot more than any other at that point. The Hawks throwbacks are clean AF. Those things are going to be just dope.
I also happen to like, I don't know if they still wear them, the Packers, like, blue and yellow, like, old throwbacks. I've always liked those.
Oh, go away. Those are awful.
No, they're not. I love them.
I hate those. Those are brutal. I do like the Bears throwbacks that they introduced last year. Not the ones they had previously, which was just the straight Navy helmets, but the white jerseys with the navy and orange alternating stripes, the short ones. Those ones are pretty clean. They're not like, oh my God, they're amazing. I love the Falcons, like you said, throwbacks with the red helmets. Those are dope. Favorite throwbacks.
Do the Eagle, are they doing like a Kelly Green?
Oh, if they do the Kelly Greens, I'm in. I'm 100%.
I don't know if they are.
There's been a lot of talk, so I don't know if they are either. But if the Eagles do Kelly Greens, I'm 100% in. I love the Giants throwbacks this year when they went back to the Super Bowl. The Super Bowl before the Super Bowl. Those franchises that have more than one in the last 30 years. I don't know how to navigate that. So the Parcells Super Bowl throwbacks uniforms were amazing. I love those. Those are the ones that I grew up watching and really like. Who else has a really good throwback?
I like the Pats ones. The red.
Yeah. Yep. Sam the Patriot. Sam's fun.
Kelly Green's coming next year.
Yeah, Kelly. Next year is going to be the blow it out year. It's going to be the Hawks throwbacks, the Kelly Greens, the creamsicles. Everybody's going to get what they want because the NFL is allowing the second helmet to be in rotation.
Dude, I want a Jalen Hurts Kelly Green so bad.
Oh, dude,
they're bad as fuck.
You know what I think would be awesome as a sort of tribute throwback?
Huh?
Get a Kelly Green, but do it for the nose tackle.
Jordan Davis.
Yeah. Get a Kelly Green Jordan Davis, so it'd be like sick. Reggie White and Seth and It'd be like,
Oh,
yeah,
it'd be like Jerome
that
Brown.
exactly.
Yeah, love it.
Yep. Yep.
All right,
It'd
Titans
be great.
opening up here.
Steelers, Bumblebees. I don't like the
He hates the
Bumblebees.
Bumblebees.
I think the actual just like straight Steelers uni, because it hasn't changed, is classic right as it is. And the Bumblebees to me are just nasty. Don't like them.
Chig at fullback. What do we got?
Uh-oh.
Oh,
Uh-oh.
Kingsley
Uh-oh.
Enagbari got him.
Yeah, no, we got a little chippiness. We got some chippiness.
Watch Kingsley take on Chig here, shuck him, and then
Well,
make the tackle.
This is payback for earlier in the game when Chig buried him. Kingsley was like, "No, we're not doing that again."
Watch 55 off the right edge here.
Yeah, no, he's happy about that. Ooh, that's a big time big boy contact right there.
God damn, that's teach tape.
Yeah, the extra stuff at the end I'm not wild about from Enagbare, but the shedding of the block and the tackle itself was A+ stuff.
Gorgeous. Brett, how much for a shot
Tannehill.
of absinthe?
Dime. Tannehill with
I think I just hit my Westbrook Akini over. Maybe.
Yeah, maybe.
Brett, how much for a shot of absinthe from Hockey's? Well, you guys would have to go get me a new bottle of absinthe for starters.
What'd you do? Drain the old one?
I drank most
poured
of
it out.
No, I drank like 80% of it, and now I can't find where it is.
Well, that's what happens when you drink 80% of a bottle of absinthe.
Fair.
Like, you'll lose the bottle. Hockey said way back, EJ, that's a bad opinion. I have lots of them. You're gonna have to pick one and tell me which one it was. Derrick Henry. Impressive stuff.
Honestly, getting anything out of that was he was stopped. He was just straight up stopped and got 8 out of it.
Yeah, and he ends up getting a bunch. So this is really good. Like, Derrick Henry, although not super shifty, is very powerful. And this just shows that power and athletic ability. It's a different kind of athletic ability, but it is still a very high level athletic ability. Do not make any mistake. Not that you would for an NFL rushing leader, but
2nd and 1, run again, maybe?
No, PA, big PA. Oh, and a terrible throw for a pick.
Who is it? Savage, 29? No, Savage is 26. Who's 29? Is that Rasul? I think it is.
No, I have 39 or 28. Oh, sorry, wrong team. My bad.
All right, let me see how
29
this happened.
is Rasul. Yeah. It's Rasul. Hey.
God, watch him come off of reading run and then bail back and undercut that crosser. That was gorgeous. Which, for a veteran like him, you kind of expect him to be able to read stuff that quickly, but what?
Somebody just bought you a new bottle of absinthe.
Find a cure. Enjoy the new bottle of absinthe. Also give the turtle a cat. Oh, Chad is insisting on me getting bombed at some point this season. Okay, I will take that money. I will run out tomorrow, and I will get a new bottle of absinthe just for you.
That is a $50 super chat. Find a cure. You have exceeded your mandate. That is amazing.
You're incredible. Love you.
Yeah.
Let's see. Cat. I'm gonna put the cat in between the deadly reptiles. How about that?
Oh, sure. The cat is the ref because the deadly reptiles know better than to mess with it.
Yeah, cats will fuck up a turtle.
Cats will mess up a good many things when they're motivated. Oh, yeah, the old school Houston Oilers, the Baby Blues.
That's a really shitty cat.
Come on, we're talking about throwback uniforms, not shitty cats.
Also, I saw one from Autumn as well. Hold on.
Yeah, always glad to catch the stream, even with a 5 a.m. shift tomorrow. Autumn, you're a trooper. Also, be sure to cheer for the Bengals on Sunday. Got to get the propaganda. Sure. How much for a shot of absinthe? Oh, man. Autumn, thanks so much for all your support. It's amazing. Oh, no.
What?
Sad Mariners fan for 50. Let's make it a double shot. I think we have to make a short about this.
Okay. I'm going to go get a bottle of absinthe, and I will do not one, but 2 shots just for you guys on our...
You can do one and I can do one. I'll have to get a bottle, but I'll figure it out. Because I do not
Are you
have
sure
any
you want to
absinthe
take
in the
on
house.
this burden, EJ?
No, absolutely not. But I'm going to stand for the cause here. If I'm going to wear the colors, I'm going to march.
How about our next shot of the week?
Oh, 2 shots of absinthe?
Our
First
next
thing
shot
on
of the
Monday
week,
morning?
we're doing absinthe at 10:30 a.m. on a fucking Monday.
Okay, here we go. I said I wanted to quit my job. This is what I got.
Ugh.
Oh, Aaron Jones. Don't you need Aaron Jones stuff on one of your slips?
Carries.
He just got one. Uh-oh, another Titan down, holding the knee. Not good.
I hate and I love you, chat.
Oh, man. Monday is going to be a mess.
Atrocious.
Yeah, Monday's going to be a mess. Is that 93 to your tart?
I think so.
Ooh. Oh, yeah, I got landed on. It's not good.
Oh, he like whipped it into the helmet.
Yeah. And his left ankle is already like basically tape casted.
So I need... Let's put this up here. To get $500, EJ.
All right.
$500 on a $20 slip on Prize Picks. I
What do you
need
need?
4 rushes from Aaron Jones and 4 yards from Alan Lazard, and I win $500.
Okay. And what do you get if you get one below?
40.
Times 2, right? That's all right.
Because it goes from 25x to 2.
Yeah, to 2, which
Yeah.
is what I said. But honestly, if you get 4 yards from Lazard, you're in the money.
Easily. On both of them.
Back on
So
the horse,
if I get both of those, actually I win $700 because I also have the $200 slip. So I can win
look at
$700 tonight. So I need Alan Lazard to stop dropping
So-
fucking passes.
So you're buying the absinthe.
Buying really nice absinthe if I can win $700 tonight.
EJ needs a bottle. Saying if I get 100 and that happens. Oh man. We don't need. Hey, we need to come up with a more positive spin for things for all of you to do with your money. If you make a bet, then buy us absinthe because we don't actually really like absinthe. It's okay, but like make it bourbon at least, or like I don't know, buy coats for kids, something like. We gotta. So JB was talking about the fact that everybody knows that he likes sugary, goofy beers, and he's like, I have to put out in the ether that I'm into gold bullion. And I was like, yes, you do. So the whole absinthe thing, we will take the shots of absinthe, true to our word, but do not buy us excess absinthe because we do not need it. We will not drink a lot of absinthe. However, bourbon we can drink the hell out of. So maybe that, but. Everclear, Malort. Oh no,
Malort might be the only thing worse.
For no amount of money will I be doing shots of Malort. Like not unless it supports like a children's hospital or something. Like there is no amount of money you can pay me to do Malort.
Even then, like are we talking like Timmy broke his leg or Timmy's like really sick? Because I draw the line somewhere.
I'm talking about the fact like Josh Allen ended up getting a hospital wing named after his like mother or grandmother. Like if you want to name a hospital wing after somebody and I have to drink Malort to do it, like, all right, great. Other than that, no, you can find something better. I don't need to drink gasoline twice. I've had it.
All right, give me 13. Give me 13. Give me 13. Rogers, give me 13. That's not 13. That's the other team. Shit.
Donate absinthe to kids is crazy. We're not talking about sending the absinthe to the kids. No matter how sick they are, we don't want to kill them. No. Rogers just flat out missed a ball. Oh, yeah.
To Sammy,
he
trying
wanted,
to hit the backside dig.
No, he wanted him to keep running, and Sammy stopped, and that was just gross.
Or Sammy just didn't run as fast as he thought.
Yeah.
Brett, thanks for the recommendation to pick up Watson. Now I just need him to hit 80-plus receiving yards to hit a... Whoa! That's a big-ass parlay. What's he at now?
Plus 7,000?
What did you bet? That's what I want to know.
Yeah, that's what I
Because if
wanna
you put like $100 down,
All right. Connor says, I love you guys, but I want to see these shots. You'll see them on Monday. We said we're doing them for shot of the week, which is just awful. Remind me to have breakfast on Monday, because if I try and do a shot of absinthe on an empty stomach.
I need carbs.
Yeah,
I need
something.
like pasta. Pasta
You know
for
what would be
breakfast.
great?
Huh.
Well, great or terrible. This is great in terms of potential.
What?
Like chili rellenos.
I mean, if you just want everything to have a battle royale in your stomach, go for it.
Yeah, like let's light it up. Go get a big plate of like
It's just
huevos rancheros.
Mad Max
chili
in your
rellenos.
gut.
Yeah, that's just a fight to the finish. So Connor, you will see them if you watch the pod next week. You should be watching the pod anyways, but there we go. We might even do a short about it. Who knows? Does this $15, does this buy a shot of Everclear? Hell no. I've had my experience with Everclear. Your pain and suffering is my nourishment. We will find other ways to suffer. I swear to God, we are not doing grain alcohol shots.
If I wanted to hallucinate and question my existence, Everclear
No,
is the least efficient way to do that.
Yeah. Have you ever done Everclear?
Yeah.
And I say
I went to
done, not-
college.
Well, yeah, but it wasn't even legal in my state when I was growing up.
Really?
Nope. The first Everclear I ever had was brought by a buddy of mine who had gotten out of the Navy. He had been discharged in Norfolk, Virginia, and he picked up a bottle of Everclear and drove home. And it was like, hey, Mike's back in town. Sweet. We all sat around and he pulls out this bottle of Everclear, which at that point was like in the Guinness Book of World Records and whatever else. And we'd never seen it because you couldn't sell it in New York. And we were like, oh my God. Yeah, that was an ugly night. Not friendly. Do not like.
Just your
will not
bedroom
repeat.
looking like a war zone at the end.
No, it was bad news.
I think the only thing that comes close is like, remember the old formulation of Four Loko?
Yeah. The original
that,
Four Loko.
Tearing society apart at the seams.
Uh-huh.
That's I think the only thing that comes close in terms of like pure destructiveness.
Yeah.
But God, I miss that old Four Loko.
Oh no.
What?
Oh. All right. No, Perna's here, and Perna, you're on. Love it. Colorado Rihanna with green chili. I love green chili. I'm a sucker for Mexican breakfast foods in general. Chili relleno is not necessarily a breakfast food.
Does Colorado have a good Mexican food scene?
Oh my God, yes. Like
I'm not familiar with it.
Tell him, Perna. Like, no, it's legit. And at some point, Perna and I will be hanging out together because he was out here on vacation last summer. We weren't able to connect because look, it's vacation. Let a guy have his time. But if we ever go to Colorado, or if we're ever passing through on the way, definitely going to hang out with Perna. Thank you very much for the super chat. Appreciate that. And I will absolutely take you up on whatever Mexican cuisine you want to send me towards in Colorado because I've had it. It's legit. Love it to death.
I'm down. I've been due to go to a Broncos game, but I feel like I've cursed them enough already, and I could just I can only make things worse at this point.
We could field a good college game. I mean, obviously not CU, but maybe Colorado State or something.
I think Colorado State games seem like fun.
Yeah, Colorado State's good. Like CU's struggling at the moment. Oh man. Oh no.
What?
Oh,
fellow Bears fan, let's make it 3 for how many wins the Bears have after 2 weeks.
We've done a bad thing.
Dude, we're not going to be able to finish the episode.
We've done a bad thing. Shot of the week we might have to do some movie magic with Jay and film that like last.
That's like going to be the last segment we do.
Well, we'll
do the shots and then we'll have like 5 minutes before that hits us and we just die.
Yeah, so clear your calendar for Monday is what I'm hearing.
Oh shit, I'm going to be useless on Monday.
Wow. Will there be a TNF stream next week or a bye week? We're going to do a bye week. We're both traveling. Neither one of us will be around our rigs in terms of being able to put the stream together. So we're going to take a pass for Thanksgiving. Everybody enjoyed their holiday. We'll miss y'all, but I don't know that we'll miss your drink choices. Yikes.
Do it in the middle. No, that should be the first segment we do.
Oh, God, no.
The messiest, worst podcast of all time.
We wouldn't make it. Like, Jay would come back to us like mid evening on Monday and be like, "There's not enough usable footage here to make a
Just
podcast."
eating toast for the rest of the show.
You're just slurring, talking about crocodiles. No, that would not be funny.
Oh, Jesus
So
Christ.
it's starting to look, because the Titans are good at this kind of game. They're up by 10. They're on the road. They can grind clock. They are built for it.
And we're getting
And
8-yard carries from Derrick Henry. I don't know.
this is starting to look like more of a challenge for a Packers defense that has not been locked down really anywhere close this season. And Tannehill's been hitting some dimes. Oh, he's going for it. Ow. Ooh. That was a pretty good shot.
I really need a stop here so I can get 4 more Aaron Jones carries. Like, at this point, whoever wins the game is secondary to me. I really want that $700.
Watch this. Ooh. Right on the non-throwing shoulder, man. He racked him. That's Chris Barnes.
Yep.
Woo.
34-year-old Tannehill is not a power runner. I think we learned that tonight.
Well, we knew that. Riley for $5. Here lies Brett Coleman and EJ Snyder. They died as they lived, plastered out of their minds because someone bet them they wouldn't. Meh. I'm going to take the fifth on that, and I don't mean the liquid fifth, the other fifth.
Oh, man.
Goodness. Or as my grandfather would say, holy crap, is that a dangerous punt?
Yeah, Stonehouse just had a
crap,
near-death
is that
experience.
A dangerous punt? And I got to give credit where credit's due. Keyshawn Nixon.
Great return.
Yeah.
It's amazing what happens when Amari Rodgers isn't out there.
Somebody said earlier in chat, shout out to chat. Chat's been amazing tonight. Amazing how this returner is already better than Amari. Like, look at that. Now, that was a classic no, yes return. The special teams coach is over there like, don't touch it. And he grabs it in traffic and ends up with a huge return. High risk, high reward type of return, but don't discount the risk. Oh, no. Did it happen again? Oh, no.
What?
It happened again.
Oh, God.
I'm not sure you're going to survive this.
Oh,
Find a cure. You are out of your mind tonight, and we love you for it. It's amazing.
I'm genuinely concerned for my safety.
Well, your safety was gone long ago. Let's be honest.
Oh, God.
Challenging. All right. Well, we're going to make good on 2 shots of absinthe. After that, I can't really guarantee we're going to have a podcast.
I'll go for 4.
Oh, dude. No. Don't do that. Like, just as
I'll space them out.
No.
Throughout the show.
No, you'll space them out after we're done with the show.
EJ,
Let's be honest.
EJ, they paid me.
Oh.
Hey, man, you wanted to be the full-time content creator.
This
is the job description.
I would love to live to be able to do that. 4 shots of absinthe ain't the thing.
See, you got a family to live for, EJ.
I
don't.
Cats? You have cats? Come on. What would Fatty do? Think of Fatty. Oh, my goodness. We will do something on the pod on Monday, including some shots of absinthe.
EJ could do the 2. I'll take the 4. I'm going to space it out throughout the show.
Wow.
I'll be all right. But I'm capping it at 4.
I am highly impressed at your liver's capacity if that's actually true.
I will cap it at 4, and then anything else additional, anything else additional, I'll figure it out for.
Well, we're gonna have to donate it to a children's hospital at this point because that's where we're gonna end up. Oh man!
See, what's better, cars for kids or absinthe for kids? I would argue absinthe for kids.
I don't know, cars and absinthe with kids. I don't know. No, none of that's good. All right, well, the Packer faithful, I'll give them their credit. It's a cold night. Their team's behind. It's 24 degrees out. They're not leaving. So shout out to Grassi Posse and the like. They're there for the long haul, and good for them.
Fuck, I'm not looking forward to Monday.
No, all of a sudden Mondays become very, very difficult.
I was planning on doing a film room that day.
Nope.
I don't think I am.
Nope. Not gonna happen. Kel, might I suggest a few absinthe cocktails to help with that? Maybe. I'm not sure that's gonna make it better.
I don't think it will.
EJ, I wish you luck. You're gonna have to carry. I think what you mean is I'm gonna have to carry my ass out of here after the podcast.
Yeah, man, you got stairs to deal with.
No, I got a couch right there.
Yeah, there you go.
I think I'll probably make it to the couch. It'll be great. Brett needs to do some kind of video while drunk. He's done that. I've been on it
multiple times.
It's good. Yeah, it's good. I did it last Thursday night stream because I had help. That was not wonderful.
Yeah, those mid-game deliveries wrecked you, boy.
Oh, I was by the end. Not good. Oh,
give the ball
again. High risk, high reward. Both teams are like, we've seen the trickeration from the Titans a couple of times. We've seen some really cool play designs from the Packers. That was more risky than cool, but that's what happens.
Last dono for the day. Permission for an honorable mention on the pod for this. Believe me, find a cure. You will. Believe me, you will.
Dude, find a cure. You're the driver for this. I mean, forget a mention. There's got to be some legendary status. We got to get you a plaque or something.
It's like single episode executive producer status.
Oh my god, yeah, and it's got to be like on a goblet or something. We'll find a place that engraves. Oh, 94. Who was that?
Was that Walker?
Nope, Mario Edwards.
There you go.
That was
God,
94.
That was my Allen Lazard ball.
I know.
God damn it.
I know. Lazard has not had a great night tonight, which is why I told you to stay away from him.
I just need 4 yards. I need 4 yards.
Okay, it wasn't a great ball. Yeah, he could have. Okay, this is why when everybody says, "Oh, Lazard, like you should go get Lazard in free agency," I'm like, Lazard has looked really good because of Aaron Rodgers, not the other way around.
Yeah,
like Lazard is a fine player. He is not a great player, and a lot of people think, "Oh, he's great." I'm like, he's not. Oh, what do we get?
Fine.
Here? Miscommunication.
Catch that ball. God,
no,
damn it.
Nope. Not getting it. Aaron's not happy. Why did you go away from Watson? Are they doubling Watson? When I go back to the all-22, they better be doubling Watson. That's all there is for that.
All right, let's see. So he released outside. He's expecting back shoulder. And then Aaron threw it down the field. That's a straight-up miscommunication. Aaron thought he was going to keep going. I don't know why Aaron would think he was going to keep going, though, when Allen was stacked on top. Like, that's a back shoulder indicator all day long.
Throw it where he is, not where you think he's going to be on that route. And he didn't, which is very not Aaron Rodgers-like, I would venture to say.
No, anytime you get stacked, that has to be back shoulder. You can't throw it
We're in trouble
like
now.
that.
This is, if you're a Packers fan, you're in trouble. Like,
yeah,
the Titans can close this out. Yeah, they're gonna line up. Ooh, all right. Packers defense bows up. Well, I gotta say, chat tonight, completely overwhelming in the best possible way. You're all champs.
You're amazing and terrifying.
Yeah, no, complete legends with a terrible agenda, and I don't know which one carries more weight right now, but well, right now I'm gonna go with complete legends. Monday morning I'm gonna go terrible agenda. So. Yeah. Yeah.
Aaron Lazard offering himself a one-way trip to wide receiver hell, Baltimore.
Oh, that would be such a perfect fit, too.
That's so good.
Man. Greg Roman's like, wait, you can block? Come on down. We'll pay $8 million. Let's go.
To catch 10 balls.
Yeah, and just block like crazy, which he can do. Like, let's
100%.
But he is not a great wide receiver, and a lot of people cough cough Packers fans have said that he's a great wide receiver, and I'm like, no, he's not.
I think there's Packers fans and there's Packers homers, and they're two very different people.
Oh, 100%. And in all fan bases, let's be honest, there are fans and homers in all fan bases. Some folks call them meatballs, whatever else. Like, yeah, they are not the same. But folks that pay attention to football in a sort of critical way have known for a while that Allen Lazard is a good complementary player, but he is not a guy that you pick up to run a passing game through. He's just not that talented as a wide receiver. He is good and solid. He can block and he can make the big catch occasionally. He's not the guy. And we saw that earlier this year before Watson returned to the lineup. He could not power that passing game by himself. He was not a guy that could be targeted when it was, chips are on the line and you gotta have that big first down. Lazard was not able to complete those catches. So
Brett needs Birria on Tuesday. I need Birria every day.
yeah, I was gonna say if we have like mobile Birria service, like I'm down.
I'll never turn down Birria.
No.
It's one of the greatest foods on planet Earth.
EJ's not a closet Seahawks fan. EJ likes the Seahawks. I had season tickets for a couple of years back in the Holmgren era. Like, it was the way to go watch professional football in the Northwest. Oh, Tannehill just got mushed.
Good. I need the Packers to get the ball back.
Well, there you go. Then you are happy
So
boy.
I need a
Smith
quick
is
score, quick stop. Aaron Jones to get 3 more carries. Hold on. Let's do a little update here. All right, what do I need? So I need Aaron Rodgers good. Aaron Jones, I need 3 carries. 3 carries from Aaron Jones, 4 yards from Allen Lazard. That's all I need. Oh, God, I'm so close.
We're getting there. The Lazard thing I'm all of a sudden more worried about because he had that little section in the middle where he started catching balls, and I was like, okay, cool. And now he's back to, maybe not. I hope Aaron doesn't hold it against him. Let's put it that way. This isn't desperation time for Brett. This is garbage time, and he loves it.
Oh, I eat garbage time up.
Like, garbage time is the garbage plate for this guy. He is all about it.
I don't know if I'm going to get, because they're out of timeouts now, so I don't think they're going to run the ball anymore. So I don't know if I'm going to get the Aaron Jones carries unless we get overtime.
No, you are pinning your hopes on some Lazard catches here.
I need a big Lazard catch. And then I can get a carry from Jones if it's in like the red zone, but I need a chunk. I need a chunk from Lazard like now, or I'm fucked.
Well, they're gonna have to throw it. So I mean, you can't throw them all to Watson, and Tanyan's been a non-factor. They haven't thrown a lot to Jones. There's a decent chance that you only need 1, right?
I need 2 to max out. I can
you only need 1 catch from Lazard, right?
As long as it gets 4 yards.
Okay. I'm gonna say it's a 4-yard catch.
Then yes, I need 1.
All right.
And then after that, I just need the Aaron Jones carries, and I'm good.
You're not getting the Aaron Jones carries.
And as long as Christian Watson doesn't get like 4 targets on this drive, I should be fine.
We need 1 Lazard catch. Oh, there's a Tanyan catch. Okay. Get to it. They're going to play hurry up the whole time.
Have to.
Down 10.
Have to.
Yeah, 2 scores, 5 minutes. But if there was anybody you wanted to try and complete this bet for you, it's Aaron Rodgers.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. That's why I went so heavy.
No!
What? They call that incomplete?
Yeah, they said he was juggling it out of bounds. Look at the catch technique. Get your hands up, dopey. Oh.
I am going to kill Allen Lazard. Figuratively, please don't sue me.
Yeah, no, I wouldn't even. Oh, come on, man. He's had so many chances tonight. He could have had this sewed up. Like, from an offensive efficiency perspective, this should be done and buried a while ago. Now he's going to start throwing to Watson.
I'm flabbergasted.
He's going to start throwing to Watson because Watson's going to catch the damn thing, which is, if that was ever
hilariously ironic, by the way.
Yeah, I'm like, if that's the turnabout we're looking for. Oh, my God.
I'm beside myself, EJ.
Yeah, you should be. No, here's Jones, but it's not a run. That's a pass. Antonio J for $4.99. Wrong football, but are y'all going to watch the USA take on England next week in the World Cup? I probably will try and catch that. I don't know. World Cup is good stuff.
Who do you think hates Allen Lazard more, me or Aaron Rodgers? Let's say it's
I
pretty
don't
close.
know.
Pretty close.
You know.
As for am I going to watch USA take on England next week? Probably. I guess it depends on what time it is.
Yeah.
Because like if it can, if it's on Thanksgiving Day, no. But if it's on like Friday, maybe.
Yeah.
I can't remember what time it is.
Well, if we ever get our act together and have another patron only get together for the top 2 tiers, I'll tell my Ireland World Cup story, which is one of my most memorable World Cup viewing experiences ever.
Watching it in Ireland or?
No, I was watching Ireland play, and I watched it in an Irish bar in Portland in the middle of the night.
Oh God.
Yeah.
That honestly sounds fun. Pretty fun.
It was hilariously a good time. He got it.
We're good?
He got it.
I'm a few behind.
No, you got it. He actually got one shoved into his gut and caught it.
All right.
Okay.
Now give Aaron Jones 3 completely meaningless carries, and we're okay.
Yeah.
Oh God, AJ Dillon's on the field. Fuck.
You might get 1.
Yeah, I think that's what's gonna sink me.
I don't think you're getting 3.
Okay. Well, at least I'm probably gonna be in the money. I just won't be like in the money. You know.
Lazard isn't completely useless. Texas Dragon, faint praise.
I mean, just mostly useless.
Yep. Oh, wow. Aaron takes an enormously horrible sack.
At that point, you got to throw it, dude. Like,
yeah, you got to get rid of something. That's brain fart with it being cold. Like, I'm happy Jeff Simmons gets it, but, like, come on.
That's on Aaron.
Yeah, this is completely inexcusable. He's got protection, still protection. No, nothing. Like, you gotta let that ball go.
He actually did have Watson down the boundary.
Regardless of whether he saw that or not, it is not okay to take that sack.
Yeah,
you're like you gotta get the ball out of your hand. That's your job.
Man.
Oh, and he almost got the first down to Watson back because he's Aaron freaking Rodgers. Never underestimate.
But they gotta go. They gotta go.
They're going.
Because they got no timeouts left, so they got to score and then do an onside and then score again.
Yeah, you're not getting your runs, man. Oh, you got one.
Runs.
You got one. I told you. What did I say? You're gonna get one.
And that's gonna put me horrifically, painfully close.
Which is where you live on these slips. Big thanks again, whether or not we hit the slip to Prize Picks for all they do to support us. And everybody always asks us, hey, what can I do to support the show? Super chats are great. Absinthe is fun. But if you put money down with Prize Picks, they believe in our audience. They continue to support us. We continue to get to bring more content to you. So even if it's $5, $10, whatever it is, take the money you would have put in Super Chat. If you are of legal age and in a gambling state, drop it down with Prize Picks. They will match your money to double it. Throw a couple lines on. See if you can tail the slip. So far, Brett's been really good this season. Like last week, train wreck.
I mean, I did make $80
last week.
No, this week.
Oh yeah, no, this week. Like we're on. We're back on the horse this week. But
well, that's what I like about them though. Is like even like with a lot of like other places, like if you lose, you just lose. But at least like you can lose less.
Yes.
On Prize Picks. So it's like if you get close, you still get paid out.
Yeah.
But God, I was so close to $700.
I know. It has saved you many times this week. It saves you again. You make money, which is cool. You too can do the same thing at home. And, we have a lot of fun with it. It certainly keeps the games more interesting down to the wire for a couple of things that we need, because it seems like every week there are a couple of things that Brett needs to close out a slip.
I just needed Allen Lazard to not be shit.
Okay.
What?
Tannehill with the big
Great ball.
big exclamation point to Treylon Burks. That's big for Burks. Regardless of whether you're a Packers fan or Titans fan, that is a young player who needs some confidence after some early drops and has the ability and is, keeping right at it. That's a great ball, good catch, tight coverage, kind of play he's going to need to make in the NFL all the time. Good for Treylon Burks. That's exciting stuff, and pretty much locks up the game for the Titans.
Oh yeah, it's game over. Can you guys talk a bit about the Chiefs rookies? I think McDuffie, now that he's back, is a big difference maker. He's a really, really good corner. Pacheco coming in and taking Clyde's job is a development that I think a lot of people have kind of been looking for a while at this point. It seems like he's the new guy. Very talented back. Saw him at the Shrine Bowl, 215, all of 215. That also happens to have blazing speed once he really gets up to stride. So I think he's been a great pickup for them, especially as a 7th round pick. You get a starting running back in the 7th round. That's awesome. Joshua Williams, I think, has a future for them as like a nickel, I would say. And I don't mean nickel in terms of like playing in the slot. I mean nickel in the sense that he is the 3rd corner. Who else did they draft? Karlaftis has been all right.
Yeah, Karlaftis is the one that he sort of looked good in the preseason, came out of the gate. Offensive coordinators know how to handle him because he doesn't have the counter punch right now.
He's got power.
Yeah.
And power.
And power.
And power.
Yeah.
That's about it.
So if they nullify his power, he doesn't have the good counter move yet. So he's been less of a factor as time's gone on. He's become, I think, a little less scary to opposing offensive coordinators. But a really good class overall.
Yeah, which, I mean, they got a lot of assets out of the Tyreek trade, and they used him pretty well overall. I had a higher grade on Ebiketie than Karlaftis, so if it was me, I would have taken Ebiketie, but it doesn't mean Karlaftis is a bad player. I just think he's a little bit more one-dimensional. But the DBs they've got, I think have a bright future, and they got Pacheco, and they got I really can't remember who else they drafted. They had such a big class. Off the top of my head, I can't remember, but the main one that people want is like, how do you like McDuffie? I really fucking like McDuffie. So at least and Sky Moore too. But Sky Moore hasn't been on the field as much this year.
Sky Moore is like Karlaftis. So Trent McDuffie, George Karlaftis, Sky Moore, Brian Cook has played a solid role for them and fits their defense. Leo Chenal is the wrecker. Like, he's the stirrer on the defense, but he hasn't showed up there a lot. Josh Williams, Darian Kennard, I think, has a role, certainly as a swing tackle now, but has a role possibly as a starting right tackle moving forward. Then Jalen Watson. Jalen's the one we skipped. Jalen's been awesome. Isaiah Pacheco, and then Nazeeh Johnson, the safety for Marshall in the 7th, way down at 259. But Jalen Watson, big corner, rangy guy. Him and Joshua Williams, I think, together going forward in the safety or in the secondary for the Chiefs, it's really good. So stack class, and Brian Cook is just an absolute hammer. More of it, almost like a dime back or heavy safety for them. Like their class at the time, but we're really waiting for McDuffie to get back because obviously their top pick. And Sky Moore, honestly, a little disappointing. I thought he showed a little bit early and would be producing more at this point.
Well, he had such a good camp.
Yeah.
Like, everything coming out of camp was that this kid's amazing, which, we watched him at Western Michigan. We're like, yeah, this kid's fucking amazing. And then we get to preseason and we get to regular season and it's like ghost town. And I really don't know why. I don't know what happened. I don't know if you saw this, but they said today that Tony's taken over punt return duties. Thank God, because Sky Moore can't return punts.
No.
But it's like, man, if you're not returning punts, you're not getting on the field as a receiver. Like, what do you do here?
Yeah, What would you say you do here? Okay. My child has placed a wager upstairs, which probably means there's a cookie on the line. The bet is who could throw a football farther in our prime, you or me?
That's a good question.
Yeah.
I don't know. I mean, I have to say myself out of selfishness, but at the same time,
how far? If you had to guess, how far?
oh, like how far could I throw it?
Yeah.
When I was in high school, I threw it 45.
Oh, you lose. You lose.
What did you get?
Nice, 52.
Oh, well, fuck.
I thought I was going to lose with 52. Brett's got more leverage than I do. He's taller than I am. And honestly, I think you have stronger shoulders than I do. My shoulders have always been kind of not the strongest point, but yeah.
Keep in mind, when I was in high school, my throwing mechanics sucked because I also played baseball. I played H-back, so.
Yeah, I did. I was not a quarterback either. No, I am surprised to win that bet. But there you go, Smalls. You win whatever you win, cookie or
you got that Tua arm strength, 52.
That's
it.
Strength. Yeah, there was no more ever. Like, that was peak EJ arm strength. I have that Tua accuracy. Like we were throwing the ball around at the Shrine Bowl last year on the field, and surprised a couple people because I can still spin it, but not far. Like no power. It's on the money, but not far, and certainly not with a lot of gusto anymore at all. But there you go. EJ, thought you were the same height as Brett. We get that a lot. No, Brett is clearly taller than I am.
Yeah, but like an inch or two. Not that much.
I would say like inch and a half. Like it's not like I'm a shrimp, but I'm just over 6 foot, and he's closer to 6'3".
Well, like
6'2" something.
No, I'd say 6'2".
Okay.
Like
I used to be
somewhere
just under.
I think it depends on did I just go to the chiropractor or not? You know, because that determines if I'm 6'2" or 6'1.5".
Yeah, I used to be just at 6'1", and then I broke my back, so now I'm just over 6 foot. I lost like 2/3 of an inch.
Holy shit!
Yeah, compression fractures will do that.
My God.
Yeah,
That's
compression
crazy.
fractures will do that. It's crazy.
All right, what do you say we get out of here?
Grogan, we should. Billy Joe Tolliver. They're giving you a Billy Joe Tolliver comp. Oh, that's a Husky throwback.
Billy Joe. Ow.
Yeah, dude, they gave me Steve Grogan. Give me a break. Like Grogan had his moments, but no, I have better mobility than Grogan. Thank you very much. Anyways, Smalls bet on Brett. She gets no cookie. We should get out of here. It's been an amazing night. It was a really good game. This was entertaining. Titans go into Lambeau, steal one from the Packers. Not necessarily what we expected, but Packers didn't just roll over. Had some big plays. Were in it until the fourth quarter. Did not make Brett all his money on his slips, but did make him some money on his slips. And you in chat made us a ton of money tonight, and we will pay dearly for that on Monday morning, but we will think about that when the bill comes due. For now, thank you very much for showing up. We had well over 500 people watching us in stream. We have folks that support us with super chats. We have folks that support us by signing up with Prize Picks and putting their deposits down there. We have patrons, executive producers. Many people make this exercise possible. Thank you.
Brett cost me an hour of Roblox. That was the bet that was on the line. Give it to her anyway.
Yeah, you're gonna. That's gonna possibly lose the old most favorite uncle status. Right there.
Oh God. Okay.
All
well,
right.
We'll see you guys on Monday. I cannot promise we'll be sober for more than 20 minutes of the show, but we'll see you on Monday. And we love you all. Thank you very much. And until next time, later.
Take care.